All right, there we are. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Tonight I've got Henry Clark, who's from our Discord community. You've kind of you've kind of become like our de facto community manager or like head moderator or whatever over the years.
Yeah, it's which isn't too bad in Discord. With such a great community that it's been virtually. I think I've had to do one, maybe two things ever because the community is real nice. We don't have any issues. That's why I joined. It ended up being a really great gaming community, unlike the toxic stuff you deal with in so many places online.
Yeah, I mean that's probably why you just stepped up and helped us manage so many things there, because it's like, well, it's not all that hard to do anyway, right?
No, not bad at all when you have such a good community of people.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, thanks for joining me today, because I almost thought about just going it alone today. And then I thought, Henry was really excited about Zelda too, so why don't I see if he's available to come on? So I brought you on. Coury is traveling for his day job, but he's actually also kind of doing Mother's Day at the same time, because his travel for his day job took him to where his mom lives. So there we go.
He's here in Florida, but about 4 hours from here. Right. So
yeah, but he's not passing too close your way, I don't think.
No, and when we first came, that's why I checked with him, see where he's going. Yeah, it's about 4 hours away, so wouldn't mind going and hanging out. 8-hour round trips, like.
Does the audio sound pretty okay for everyone? Are our audio levels reasonably balanced here?
Nobody said anything yet. I guess there's always the delay. I'm not used to that.
So anyway, this is, I mean, obviously here's the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Definitely not what we normally do at all to stream like the hot new AAA game. But it's what everyone's playing this week, and it's going to be an off week without Coury here anyway. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to play what I'm going to be playing anyway. And, especially since so much of this game does take place in, the same world as the previous game. You've got new stuff above ground and new stuff below ground. And of course, there's a lot of changes in the world. But I mean, fundamentally, this is the same world. Of course, it's been 6 years since I've really done much of anything here. So a lot of it's like not exactly ringing a bell for me. So some parts I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Other parts, just like, this hill I'm running up is like, I don't remember that. So I thought, I'm going to try to avoid doing story stuff. I actually just finished my first, dungeon, if you will. My first like kind of really major main story quest. So I intentionally disabled the reward for that for the stream, so just to avoid spoilers on what you get or what characters might be involved. So we're gonna wander around and see what happens.
It's one of the best things to do in this game, as just like the previous, you can just find so much interesting stuff. Exactly. Just saying, well, I'm just gonna wander around, find a cave here with some cool armor, find a weird enemy like you never expected. There's one particular enemy that's become you see fairly early on. It's a modification of one you're used to in the last game, but when you see how they've done it in this one,
yeah,
what the crap's going on here?
And I saw there was $2 from our good friend Jonathan Henson saying, "Hey Henry, good to see you again, man." Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be here. Yeah, when we met him when we went up, I drove up to North Carolina for the limited run opening last year. Mm-hmm. Where Yeah, met you for the first time in person there, and I met Coury before.
Yep. I
But
stopped
yeah,
by
that was
Jonathan's office when I went back up that way in December as well. So, and I also met up with him when we went to the Lost Ark Games little mini convention thing as well. So,
nice. Yeah, he posted. I don't know if you saw the pictures he posted earlier from some arcade event he was at this weekend. Wasn't that you, Jonathan, that posted some pictures in Discord? But somebody else that posted those, like with the arcade and with the DeLorean.
oh,
Sorry if I get that wrong. I got that wrong. I thought that was no. I'm sorry. That was Demo Kirby that posted that. I'm sorry. I knew it was somebody in that area. I apologize.
I probably don't have to, but I check behind the entrance of every shrine. There's probably literally never anything there. But I've checked behind each one so far. I mean, I gotta say, I was not necessarily, I kept saying like I've not really felt hyped for like playing another Zelda very similar to the previous one on the exact same hardware that I played it on, 6 years ago. Although I am on an OLED Switch now, so it's possible I could have some minor performance advantages because of the way that the RAM is allocated.
Yeah, that's the same what I thought because I had a launch switch where I ran into issues with Metroid Dread.
I did
like
as
where
well.
where Digital Foundry went on and how stable it was,
Yep.
and I turned it on. I was like, this isn't like I'm stuttering to like low 50s frequently.
Yeah.
And on my launch one,
I had the exact same issue with Metroid Dread, and it seemed like that game in particular, like it seems to not really affect most games in general, but that game in particular really tends to have some issues.
yeah,
I
did buy the game. I ended up emulating it after that. I'm like, because I didn't buy the OLED yet, and I was like,
yeah,
I'm just gonna go to the PC and I'll do that.
But,
and eventually bought an OLED.
I honestly gotta say, like I am very, I'm actually. In the end, I'm glad this ended up being a Switch game instead of, something that was held off for the next system. Because, this is my first time doing a ball puzzle in this game. So
I'm interested to see this. One of these steps here. This is actually one of the shrines that stumped me the most out of anything
really?
I've played
Okay.
so far. Yeah.
But,
so I'm interested to see if you see how you figure one of these steps out.
But I gotta say, ultimately, I'm glad this ended up being a Switch game because this is it's so impressive that they pulled off what they did on this hardware and that it's actually running as well as it is. Yes, there are frame rate issues here and there. There's frame rate issues often when you are first creating something with your little sort of your ultra hand ability. When you start sticking things together and they start moving around, sometimes there's a low frame rate, but it stabilizes pretty quickly. And sometimes there's frame rate issues in and out of a cutscene, but again, it's it stabilizes really fast. So, I guess it's kind of impressed me to see, this kind of showpiece concept on the hardware in a way that is not it's even beyond what you would normally see on more powerful hardware, right? You don't see this really sort of systems driven physics based gameplay all that much, even on more powerful systems.
Yeah, it's because I can't imagine what this is, the load this is on the CPU, because physics is a big CPU load, and the Switch doesn't exactly have much in the way of CPU.
No, so I don't know, I guess in a lot of ways, okay, if this was running on a system that I would just expect to run this, at 60 frames per second with no issue, in some ways I would perhaps be less impressed than I am just by seeing this running, you know, as decently as it is here, you know?
Yeah, that was I was genuinely shocked at how smooth it is, because I am a bit of a self-confessed frame rate snob, where, you know, we go back and forth with a couple of people in the chat, you know, about games at 30 frames per second a lot of the times, where I actually don't mind this game at 30, and it holds it surprisingly well, where a lot of games, like, I just flat out can't spend a lot of time playing some certain games at 30 frames per second. So the Switch was like, in that way, the Switch ends up being a non-starter for me. But this game runs at a very stable, other than when you're doing stuff like the Ultra Hand can really tank it in the open world. But and I think a lot of it comes down to, I'm sure you saw, I don't know if you saw the thing by now, it was came out this week that Monolith Soft worked on the tech for the game.
Oh yeah,
they at least helped with it, and of course they have proven to be masters of this antiquated, underpowered hardware.
Yeah, and of course, like Xenoblade 3 definitely had like some frame rate jank for sure. But I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of making something up as I go. Which is
that's the great thing about this game.
Yeah, I mean, like what's really kind of just impressed me, like it almost kind of gives me a little like Mario 64 energy, in the sense that like it feels like they've really gone back to the basics of like, okay, like let's imagine like what do you want to be able to do, like navigate in a 3D world. What are some of the issues you might run into? What are some things where it's like, you know what? I feel like, oh no.
Whoops.
Oh, the parts reappeared. That's nice of them.
Yeah, certain parts in this game are marked as if they're destroyed, they respawn.
Yeah, I have not actually run into that thus far, because I'm trying to like make some sort of bridge that will like perhaps somewhat latch on to those broken rails there. I mean, it's probably just a treasure chest that has nothing all that amazing or valuable. But
I have got to the point where I realize almost every shrine, the treasure chest is utterly pointless, and I do remember being disappointed after getting to this one. But I remember that because of how the next step here in the puzzle is an interesting one. I spent so much time at it, and I remember this shrine a little too vividly.
So, have you done much stuff in this part of the world so far?
Honestly, I don't even remember which part of the world this is in. I've been kind of jumping around a little bit.
This is kind of on the
eastern side.
It's more toward the western, like the far northwestern, but I'm heading.
I love watching plans fail in slow motion. It's even when you mess up and you get annoyed that you messed up, you can't help but laugh at how terrible things went.
Like,
I love it.
Can I just like get this to like balance there? Okay.
Oh wow! I tried that and I failed. You landed it correctly. I was unable to get it to balance there. But that's what I love about this game. Doing it so different than everybody else.
Yeah, and it's like
well done.
Like there, you know, when you're playing any game, you're like always imagining like, you're like, oh, why can't I just like stick this through here and, you know, do this way? And this game like actually lets you do that.
Yeah, it's been absolute. I'm not the creative solution type on a lot of games or just in life. I'm not, I'm more of the look for the most practical way, not for the most creative. But this game, when you find a good creative solution, like it was another shrine.
Oh no!
Oh, so close.
There.
All that hard work.
Please tell me oh, good. It did.
And then but then when you do come up with a particularly creative solution, and it just, I like feel great about it. Like there was a hard shrine the other day where I could not see the right solution for the life. I gave up and put together some really weird solution that with reasonable
wow, that was
that's why I was like, I remember getting that. I was like, oh, that was not worth any of this effort.
That was not worth it. But it was fun to do anyway.
Yeah, but then I made an unorthodox way of getting through a particular one, and that ended up me putting some stuff in weird places and just being relatively decent at 3D platforming. I made that work, and then I got done. I'm like, that was really difficult to make this platforming work. How was I supposed to do it? So I went on YouTube and looked up just to see the solution after I had done it. And when you see like, wait, it was, oh, those can do that? You can do this? It's a level of discovery that you just haven't had since, well, 2017.
Oh, is that going to start sliding right away? Hold on, I have an idea. Something that I've not gotten really good at doing yet, though, is like getting things. And maybe you're not really supposed to do flying with this so much, but I struggle to get the like the fans to really work well as a flying contraption.
Right. Yeah. They don't see. They're not great at being against gravity. They're they're great about traversing horizontally.
Yeah.
But like I found there are some items that are good at traversing upward. Like I found some on an area that, without spoiling anything, an area that I know you've completed because you finished the place you just finished right before the stream is where I left off right before dinner tonight.
Right.
On my way up there, as you're climbing, you're doing a lot of climbing up on some platforms, you're doing a lot of vertical platforming, and I found an item and I was able to cheese something and skip like 6 or 7 or 8 good platforms that I should have spent time having to climb, and I was able to
I knew that was
use a good upward from fire and the balloon, then skipped a whole bunch. Made my own little makeshift hot air balloon and went and skipped so many of those platforms. I'm sure you know which area I'm talking about getting there. But when I found that with those hidden balloons, and just like, all right, I'm gonna drop some flint, gonna light it on fire, or drop some wood, light it on fire with some flint, and then I'm just gonna skip all of this.
Yep.
It makes me feel like Hacker Man.
Were the Hylian pine cones in the previous game?
I don't believe so, and I have a couple, but I've yet to use one. But I know
they are definitely like can kind of break like the amount of height that you can really take advantage of.
Okay.
Wait, okay, I think I know what I'm going to do. I think this will work. Yeah, you can really fly. Wait, why did? Oh, that's weird. Okay.
We had a $5 super chat from Legendary K4 asking about the PS2 power adapters, which may need Coury to be better with answering this, unfortunately. But you ask, do you use a PS2 Slim adapter to power your consoles? Can you give any insight on using it for an Atari, which uses that headphone-looking adapter?
Oh, yeah, I don't know about the Atari. And those are that kind of stuff is kind of scary. I actually personally don't do what Coury showed in the video, although it's a really great idea. And I could definitely see myself going to that someday, but it's not what I personally use. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it uses the same. What's the power regulator called? This was it 7802?
7805, I think. The capacitor inside of that.
Yeah.
Inside.
But see, the thing is that's like designed to take like a range, because the consoles only use 5 volts. And it's designed to use a range. So if you look at your Genesis or NES power supply, I think it says like 12 volts maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So it's actually more than what the PS2 adapter is outputting. And
that capacitor is taking the hit to, I guess, give the appropriate output.
Right. So, I mean, that it is designed because you don't just have like a 5-volt power supply for any retro console. It's always a higher voltage than what the console actually uses. So there's nothing wrong as long as, the polarity is correct and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. That power, that headphone jack style is not a common thing.
I haven't laid hands on an Atari in so long. I'm not even familiar with the connector. Is it an actual like a TRS connector like headphones use?
It's been a while since I tinkered with one as well. I'm trying to get the. I apologize. I'm trying to get this this stream super chat log to refresh because I know I missed something from Scott Davis and I apologize.
Oh. Yeah, I did miss that on the screen as well.
I got it refreshed. But thank you for that, Legendary K4. I wish I had more info. Coury might be able to tell you more about that, but he's not overly familiar with Atari either. But yeah, I don't do the thing that he does, but I've definitely considered it. But Scott Davis with a 999, thank you, said, yo dudes, I can't hang tonight since I bought my first Switch, the Zelda edition, to play Tears of the Kingdom on an international flight next week. The hype got me, and I want to go in blind. I played Breath of the Wild on Wii U. Wow, yeah. I mean, that's exciting that you'll be traveling with it in that way. I mean, I end up getting the Switch OLED for Tears of the Kingdom as well, but it's actually my first OLED for the Switch, and yeah. I mean, what was kind of cool about mine and Coury's experience with the this isn't really going to work, is it? I don't know. I'll try it anyway. Let's see. This is not going to work. This is not going to work.
Whoa.
Oh boy. Is there any way I could just get a little closer out there? I mean, that looks like it's like practically there. It is a little hard to wrap your head around, like the 3D Tetrising of.
Yes.
Once you get things at a bit of an angle.
Oh my God! Is that guy? That was so close.
You know what? If I just put it at the end of a long stick, it might actually like stay over there as long as this stick isn't too heavy. But yeah, Scott, if you're still here, I hope you're still here. That's pretty exciting because it was actually really great how. We got to play, Coury and I got to play Tears of the Kingdom, or not Tears of the Kingdom. We got to play Breath of the Wild, kind of traveling, and we were able to kind of share like the minor discoveries that we were making, right? Kind of as we went, and it's like, oh, there's this over here, or did you see this, or did you know that this can do that? Stuff like that. Oh man!
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of this kind of.
This feels like such a cop out, but like,
if it works, it works. What was the saying? If something is stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Holy crap!
It gave me the jingle.
Yeah, I heard.
Barely.
Oh my God! I never thought. See, that's what I love about watching other people play this game. That is, mine had no semblance of that and barely worked. I made a giant C shape out of it, and I got the thing to fuse to the bottom of the C. But I used those L pieces at the top and bottom, so it wasn't smooth C. It was using those. They were kind of angled. and I got the top one to hook.
Okay.
And then slid it down there, and the ball was causing a weird counterweight, so it was bouncing, and it almost fell, and it took so long to make that work.
Yeah, I mean, I was, that's what kind of what I was trying to do. Like, I was like, okay, like, how can I make like almost a cage for it around that that rail? But it was going, if I made a cage, it was going to move before I had a chance to attach the ball. And that's what I was worried about. But like, it's not so far away that you can't just do that. And see, I gotta check behind every time.
So have you found anything on, you said you haven't found anything.
I've not found anything behind the entrance or behind the exit of any shrine.
Was there anything in Breath of the, I don't think I did that in Breath of the Wild. Was there anything hiding there?
Probably not, but like, it's just like,
okay,
I mean, you never know.
It's the Zelda brain if you look behind everything.
Yep. I actually think there's some interesting things going on with the story in this so far. I'm actually pretty intrigued to see where it goes. By the way, I love the teleport points in front of the shrines where it's like it's on this like sand type surface, and like you see like the glow on the surface, but as you move the camera around, you see like a glow coming from like, you know, a foot under the surface as well, and it makes this really cool like 3D look to it.
Noticed.
Even though like the sand itself is not translucent, but it is like underneath it. It's just really cool looking.
Yeah, I had not noticed.
And I'm actually really kind of curious how they do this shrine entrance as well, because like you see like so far into the distance there, but you don't see anything on the other side there. And like, that's probably actually some pretty basic trick, but you don't see stuff like that done that often where it's like,
right. It's not a static texture. It's a 3D texture. Like,
yeah, it's like fully 3D. And I mean, it's a pretty simple image in there, but like, you know, like how do they like hide it from one side and like not have the visuals break on the other side of the shrine? Like it's actually, I think it's actually kind of a little bit impressive.
The technical prowess this game shows is quite spectacular. Even if they said one of the things that I've noticed, the game's a little bit soft and blurry thanks to they're using AMD's FSR technology, which is funny. In NVIDIA, it's all NVIDIA hardware, but they're using AMD software technology to do FSR, to do higher resolution, because the game's outputting at 900p, but it's not, and some things aren't necessarily rendering at that. But which looks okay, but it does soften the image a bit. But I don't know if you've noticed when you're in the shrines, especially, two things look really weird. Have you looked close at the ladders in any shrine? Like the ladders are really funky looking, the shading behind them.
Oh yeah, and there's also like the thin lines between
that's
the
other
stones.
One.
There's like
straight lines.
It's like this like a screen space ambient occlusion effect. It's like kind of almost like it just doesn't know what to do with it at that low of a resolution.
Yeah. And the thing is, it happens, you can be right up close to it. So it's got all the resolution in the world to work with. You're right up on top of it, and it still looks funky. Straight lines are not this game's strong suit, but that only appears in the shrines, really.
Oh, this is my first time encountering a Gerudo in this game.
Yeah, I believe she gives you a side quest. See, I've got to just do the discovery with somebody else as well. My roommate is playing it as well. He's had more time to play. He's every waking moment of every day. Since we both got it on Thursday. Yeah. Local game store tends to break street dates, so we picked it up Thursday afternoon. He's a lot further than I am because he's probably got 8 to 10 more hours than I do, and I've played it quite a bit. Like we were driving all day yesterday to do some stuff, and he was playing the entire time. We drove, but I had like 3 hours of driving to do, 6 in total, really. But so getting to discover stuff and like, hey, check that out. Did you see this? It makes the game so much better to have when you're playing that simultaneous. And I love playing that with basically the entire internet of everybody sharing stuff. As you saw, I created those channels in the Discord to share link stuff with this game before it came out.
I mean,
because I love just finding and sharing.
I've been pretty isolated since starting the game, so I haven't really heard a lot of anything from anyone. But you know, I was actually at my parents' house this weekend, so I was actually playing on the projector, that BenQ projector that I reviewed.
Was it that RGB one?
No,
CRT one, I mean.
It's the BenQ one that does it does the pixel shift 4K, so it actually has a native 1080p mode. And so this I thought actually looked really good on it. And also just the game's color palette in general, I thought was complemented pretty nicely by a projector, you know, because this game doesn't really need ultra deep black levels, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought you know, kind of the lower native resolution of that projector really, and you know, the color tone in general just really complemented the game nicely. But now that I'm playing on my C1 OLED at home, honestly, it's not it's actually, honestly, it's a lot better looking than I feared it would. Like the aliasing and, you know, the low resolution shadows and stuff, you know, yeah, it's there, but it's not as bad as I feared it would be.
Yeah, I think it only really shows in the shrines. In the shrines, I think the low resolution in the rendering technology does show its weak part because it's such a clean texture.
Yeah, it's so clean and simple in there. Whereas out here, there's just so much detail and stuff that, you know, it's almost less noticeable. I made a marker for that glyph over there because I want to investigate that later, but I won't do it now because have you done any of those?
Only one I did, the very first one that it introduces you to the glyphs.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. That wouldn't always be the first one that you come across. So I wonder if the characters that are there are always there. They do seem. I don't remember it being this way in Breath of the Wild, but you know, I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. Why not?
Just mess their whole world up.
Yep.
One arrow.
What was I saying? Yeah, they seem to strongly encourage you to go to the Reto region first.
Yeah.
Once you kind of, you know, got your bearings and done the major tutorial stuff and you know, they seem to imply that you should go to the Reto area, and I don't remember them encouraging you in that way in Breath of the Wild. But
yeah, I don't remember any real direction there.
Yeah,
that was also a lot more lonely of a game than this. This game's inhabited, where the world there, the people were sparse in it. Like they were all hiding, it seemed.
Oh, is that the next tower?
Yeah, I did a bunch of the towers right up front, and then the first one I ignored the Rito one, and I was like, oh, I'll just go this direction and see what happens. I ended up in a different area, and yeah, I wasn't prepared because you need needed some heat resistant stuff, and I did not have appropriate, even with food was not enough. I needed.
I didn't realize that I'd kind of ended up taking a somewhat southward route accidentally.
Yeah, I did
guess
I guess all four of the towers. I think.
Do they only have the spotlights on the ones that you haven't done? Because I don't see the spotlights on this one, but I see a spotlight on one up that way.
I don't know what the spotlight signifies.
Because when I got to this, I saw this moat around this one. I was like, oh wait, this seems familiar, and I had done this one. I don't know if you've done this one, but I made a really long plank.
Yep, that's what I did. Eric Benoit wanted to know, is this game too big for the Wii U? And I think this game definitely has some more technical ability than the last game. That there is, obviously they wouldn't be releasing a Wii U game 6 years after its successor was released.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game would be too much.
I mean, I guess they could just like run it at like 480p or something and it might work.
But the world is, without spoiling things, the world is significant. The world is bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger. And it loads everything like really seamlessly and actually a lot quicker than you might think. Like anytime there is load times, like in and out of shrines and stuff, is pretty quick. Now, a key ability that I have not shown yet. Oh, is that a little house down there?
Yeah, Urameshi confirmed that the spotlights are for the unactivated towers.
Okay. Ooh. What is going on down here? I'm curious. Oh, that's not a house. That's just I thought it was a house with like a light coming out of it because it was just the way that the light was hitting the grass. Have you figured out if there's any significance to sometimes you see objects, from, you can't really see any of the sky world very clearly right now because it's raining, but sometimes you'll see like blocks fall from the sky and just land on the ground. Like, is there any significance to that? I haven't.
Not that I've discovered. I've had some fall near me, but when I was climbing, if they passed me, but I haven't figured out the significance of it yet.
And see, I do have a horse, but is my horse going to come? Maybe my horse might be boarded.
Also, I don't remember Breath of the Wild was this way. If it was just if you were accessible, it came to you. You have to be within a reasonable distance of your horse for it to come to you. I don't remember if Breath of the Wild was that limited.
I actually tend to. I mean, really, in any Zelda game, not just Breath of the Wild and this, but I often don't ride the horse just because just walking across the land like this and just soaking in the scenery and atmosphere is part of what I enjoy.
It depends on the time. I don't, just because getting to I'm using Epona because I got it through an amiibo. Also, I don't know if you've realized this.
I've not taken.
If have you been to a stable at all?
I have. I've been to several, but I've not done much with the horses.
Well, your boarded horses from Breath of the Wild are there waiting for you if you're playing on the same profile.
And I was quite amused that I wonder if I came up with this or if someone else suggested it, because if I came up with it myself, I'm very proud. My horse is named Tri-Horse. Wow, look at all this.
Nice. Yeah. So my roommate was playing. I think this loads up my horses from my save file of Breath of the Wild, because I already had an Epona in there when I went to go put Epona in the stable because he got his from the amiibo. So I decided to look, and I looked. There's 2 horses in there. There's Epona from my other save, and then there's horse meat. Yep, horse meat's waiting for me. That's. I'm curious how many. I know it'll be a while before we figure it out. If there's any other things and what all they are that this game pulls from your Breath of the Wild save, I'd be really interested.
Boss Bakablin. I honestly do not remember those enemies at all. Were they in Breath of the Wild? No,
I'm fairly certain that's a new one, because I was surprised also when I ran up on the boss one, and I took him out, cheesed it, because I was really early on. I had 3 hearts and very little, so I took him out with a bow and just kited him. We got Eric Benoit, been a member for 31 months.
Oh,
30. Jeez, that's a long time subscribed through YouTube. Love the channel and the community. My Final Fantasy 14 Chocobo is about to be named Triforce 2.
Oh, and a $20 super chat from Eric as
wow.
well. Good old EB Chill. Thank you. It actually took me quite a while to figure out how to craft a axe.
What you mean, just like putting a rock on a stick, or
Right,
is
but
there
like
something?
it's like a particular like shape of rock.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow,
I didn't even think about that.
there's a
Bouncy stick?
mushroom fused to this stick.
It is called the bouncy stick. All right.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta say, like, yes, it is like really dumb, like the things that you can fuse in this game, like fusing weapons. Like, can I just fuse a shield on a shield? There you go. I just did it. I fused a shield on my shield. Like,
Yo, dog, I heard you like shields.
like there, like I saw like someone saying like, you know, it, seeing like a big stupid rock attached to your sword, like kind of takes you out of it. But I also like honestly got to applaud like how unafraid this game is to just be a video game.
Yes,
It's
been great.
It wants it wants to do fun before ensuring that something is like cool, right? Like if it's fun, it doesn't matter if it looks a little stupid.
Yeah, well, Nintendo's always been one to put that kind of stuff forward, and as much as we all have some mixed feelings of, or a lot of us have mixed feelings about Nintendo as of recent years. Like they still, when they release something like this, they put fun first, and it's undeniable. Like some of the best production in gaming, like the way they just like go have as much fun as possible.
They don't last long, but I do like the
just fuse tube
I've
skeleton arms.
I've done this several times because it's
Nice.
40 attack.
Goblin arm bone.
But they break.
Holy crap!
They break really fast though.
We had another super chat also. Chris Fratz with $5.
Oh, thank you.
It's been a while since I tossed in the stream tip jar. Fell in love with this game the moment I first played it. I need to play more for this game for sure.
Yeah, this is it's definitely grabbing me. And even though it does have so many elements in common with Breath of the Wild, like the stuff that it does different is still like kind of blowing my mind. I mean, it's
massively different, and it's
really
great.
It's really doing things like I said, like almost gives me some Mario 64 vibes in the sense of like they're just like really like reimagining like how like what are some things that you might want to do in a 3D space that you normally can't do in a game.
Yeah, it's almost. I think they've probably taken a lot of influence from Minecraft, if anything. Where not that Minecraft was already pretty dang popular 2017.
Right.
Or in the development time, Breath of the Wild probably was in development since like 2013. Like it was getting popular then, but it wasn't to the height that it was post Breath launch. So they definitely had some influence, and they've turned it up a notch.
Right,
it's like we're going to give you the big kid version of Minecraft.
Exactly. Like I've definitely thought of Minecraft a lot as well while I've played. So like a lot of the things that they're doing aren't exactly entirely new, but to do it in this scale and fidelity of a world is definitely, I think, pretty unique.
Right. For sure. It's every time I do something crazy, and it's like, what, they actually allowed me to do this? Like it's so few limits, and sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. You're just like, I have so many different ways. I can't like focus on one way to do this. There's too much to choose from. What just happened there?
The horse got scared, and all of these this lady learned to make sand seal plushies from the Gerudo, and she was going to deliver them to town, and now all of the sand seal plushies have spread around. Have you done much of anything with the horse hitch tool?
If not, because I've only used Epona, and you can't use it on Epona.
Oh, really?
I don't believe so. I have to double check that. I'm sure people check that in the chat, but I don't believe you can use Epona for that.
I actually didn't realize there's like an actual, like, is it a DLC thing? There's like an actual Epona.
In a way DLC, yeah. It might be available to find her in a different way, but amiibo.
Oh, this is time.
So amiibo also are basically DLC cheat codes for this game, because always keeping you stocked on materials and mid-level weapons, and as well as Epona. And we have lots of amiibo at our disposal, and so been using that just to stay stocked, and that became useful because I needed a bunch of rupees earlier, and because of all of the raw meat it drops, I was able to get sell a whole just massive load of meat that I didn't need because I'd already maxed out on meals, and get like 800 rupees to buy some cold weather armor when I needed it.
Boy, that one fell out.
This has a find the Kukos feeling to it, doesn't it?
Now, there was like a telekinesis ability in Breath of the Wild as well, but I think it only worked on metal, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, you can only use that on metal. It was a magnesis.
Oh, geez, where are they? Oh, I'm not nowhere close to making this.
Somebody asks you for your help, but they only give you a very limited time to help them.
Yeah.
Like, you need to do this for me, but you need to do it in 1 minute only. Like,
I wonder if I can just like...
You tried, I suppose. Gee, I guess I won't help you next time. You're going to be so stuck up.
I wonder if I can attach them all, like, to get in a big blob and then put them in the... Here, let's...
Fuse them.
Let's see. Yeah, just fuse them into a big blob and then set them in the wagon.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. I'm curious. I think they're all on that side of the wagon. So I have to pay a fee to help.
What? Gee. Please let me pay you to help you. All right, you got 4 of them stuck together there.
Hopefully this works.
Oh. Yeah, what a way to think about it. That was definitely a smart move.
This reminds me that I went to a game store yesterday and got Katamari Forever for the PS3.
I was like, where are you going with this story? What does this remind you of buying game? Oh, okay. Katamari. Well, that's that makes perfect sense. Like I didn't play any of them since the PS2 generation until recently. We did Game Club, the 360 one that runs really well on Series X.
Yeah.
Oh my man, that was so good. Like I don't know how people have slept on that one. Like I don't know why that one's so like not advertised as good as it is. I guess probably because it ran so poorly on 360.
That's what John says. John says it ran really bad, but I thought it was great on Series X.
The game was so good.
It was really good. But yeah, I'd actually had a hard time finding Katamari Forever. I've been looking for it for a while, and
or forever, you might say.
I've been looking at it ever since the 1080p Dream video series that John did.
Yeah,
because I remembered not really feeling it when I tried the demo, but I really liked the look of it in that video because I didn't even remember it having that kind of like sketched outline look about it.
Yeah, I
which
own it,
thought
but I
was
haven't
cool.
played it. The PS3 one.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I played a demo back in the day.
Was that on John's 1080p?
It was, yeah.
Okay, I was trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the frame rate. Like that's one thing. I don't think I could play a Katamari game if the frame rate wasn't at least solid, whatever it's targeting. I would have a.
What is going? Oh, I think I've ran into this character before.
I'm curious how stable the frame rate is.
Oh wait, no, this is a different character, but she's wearing the same outfit. This like mushroom pattern hat.
Yeah.
There was a different character looking for this Misko's treasure. She's having a casual conversation when she was cowering in fear from these bokoblins riding this wagon just a bit ago. Oh, she's actually going to give me information? The other NPC did not give me any information. Oh. A fairly wild outfit. A very snappy outfit.
Nice.
I wonder if those X's actually stay on my map.
I believe so. I believe she marked them because I found something else that gave me an X, and I think it stayed on there.
Great Fairies
marked it in a different area of the map.
I've not run across Great Fairies yet.
Yeah, neither have I. They're in the game, obviously, because the loading screens tell you about them. But the tips on the loading screens. Are you using motion controls there to aim?
I am using motion controls.
Nice. It works pretty well for fine-tuning.
Yeah, it does not work well, though, for when you're like all the way zoomed in with the PuraPad.
I don't think I've tried it with the PuraPad. Like,
Yeah,
I'm just using the sticks there.
Hang on, after I get rid of these stall childs or whatever they're called, I'll show you. It looks pretty jittery.
I'm shocked at when you're trying to zoom in and mark stuff, like when you're falling, like when you're jumping off the sky islands, or when the other reason that you might be yeeted high into the air, which I have fun with every time, marking stuff as you fall.
Mm-hmm.
When you zoom in, like they're doing some weird stabilization, and it works really well. Like while you're falling, being able to aim and mark stuff. I would think while you're falling at that kind of speed, it would be jittery, but they've done something to make it work pretty well.
But like, you know, like even like all the way zoomed out, like this doesn't feel right. Like it looks. I mean, I think you can probably just tell by looking at it. Like something about this looks a little wrong, and especially when you zoom in, it's like it's just not quite right. But the arrow though. Look at that. Like it's
it feels pretty good with the bow and arrow.
It's beautiful, but for some reason the camera view not so good. I don't know why. You know, I actually thought like I had not watched a trailer for this game, I think since the title reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last thing I had seen was whichever trailer had like a picture of Link riding like this giant, like it almost looked like a harvester, like a giant harvester, like driving across the field. Like whichever trailer had that. That's like the last like pre-release thing I had seen about the game. And so I had a vague idea that, okay, there's going to be like stuff that you can build and things like that, but I didn't really have a lot of concept of how it worked. But anyway, like, so I had not seen a lot of pre-release materials, but like I actually thought that the grass was going to be a lot scaled back, like as a a way to compensate for just how much else they're adding. But I mean, the grass I think looks really good.
Yeah, and those early trailers actually were clearly not running on regular Switch hardware.
Yeah,
they were running on likely we heard enough. There was supposed to be like a Switch Pro that was more or less canceled due to the chips shortage. What became the OLED, but they were likely running on something like that.
Or maybe they have like some sort of like render export option, like. Maybe they can record the gameplay and then like run that data like through a renderer of some kind. I don't know.
Yeah, but they were running it was clear higher resolution, extremely stable frame rates. Like it definitely wasn't Switch hardware. And that's where then people took comments out of context with Digital Foundry and said that they were claiming the game was too big for Switch.
Yeah. Now that's like become like a joke,
meme,
a joke catchphrase. Too big for Switch, and now they're saying like too big for Steam Deck and too big for Xbox Series S. But yeah,
I love it. Especially Rich loves running with that. It seems.
But yeah, like the screen space ambient occlusion in here is definitely kind of broken, which I'm not a big fan of like screen space ambient occlusion in general. Like oftentimes I guess it often works well, but when it breaks, it does look pretty bad.
Yeah, I just think there's not enough data with the game running at such a low resolution internally.
And also, like in the shrines, the texture filtering, like especially on this surface, like is not great. But again, like outside the shrines with much more detail in the visuals. Like you don't see those issues as much, or it could be using completely different graphics parameters in the shrines versus exterior.
Speaking, we're talking about graphics. Did you see that it came out that this is not using the same engine as Breath of the Wild? Did you see that?
Really?
On a different this is on the engine for Splatoon 3.
Well, I mean, I gotta wonder though, is it really just like an evolution?
That's what I said, and some others that looked at it said that they're showing that the code, the style of code apparently is completely different. But that was my initial thought, is that I don't know that. That's hearsay. As I'm getting like third and fourth level hand story there, but that was an interesting way to go about that one. Okay.
That's like actually that heat is actually pushing this block like away.
Yeah, I lifted it over into the fire, those flames behind you, just to shrink it down small enough.
Oh, I guess
instead of using a campfire. That's why I was
for some reason I didn't envision this being a liftable object for some reason, but I should have known better. Oh. Can I destroy this campfire?
You put it in a very inopportune spot.
Yeah, this perhaps could be bad. Although, now that I see it, all this really has to do is probably just sitting there. So I just have to shrink it a little. I see.
Yep. That's why I got it close to those big flamethrowers over there.
Yeah, I actually did quite a bit of making little fires in the snowy area that I was recently in.
Okay.
So you haven't fought any. You're at the place that I just finished before the stream, right?
Correct. I saved walking into that temple.
Yeah, and you haven't done any others, I guess.
Correct. It's the first temple. I've spent a lot of time. I've done a bunch of shrines that I can find. I've done random stuff. I haven't focused on any one thing other than I did a bunch of towers. because I wanted to start filling out the map. So I did like 3 or 4 or 5 towers, something like that.
I'll definitely be curious what you have to say after you finish that temple.
Yeah, everything so far, every step's always surprising. I love it. It's been a while. I've had trouble in the past few years latching on to like really go deep into a lot of games. It takes a lot, and now I've been spoiled with 2 in a row, which is, for a lot of people that may be easy, but for me it's been really hard not to bounce off of stuff. But I was rushing to finish Jedi Survivor in time for this, because I absolutely loved that game. To have ignoring the fact the PC version is a technical disaster at launch, and it's playable now, and but that game was absolutely amazing. I'm like, it even had me thinking, like, I love this game so much. Like, what am I really going to think of this after how much I just absolutely, one of my favorite, Jedi Survivor was one of my favorite games. Like, what am I going to think about this new Zelda game that's going to feel so much like the previous one?
Right.
And then it's like, it's blown me away at every turn.
That kind of reminds me of how what am I supposed to do with this? That kind of reminds me of how I back in 2004, then 2005, if I'm thinking correctly. Oh, can you not take Zonai devices out in shrines?
I've never tried, but apparently not.
Interesting. No idea what's going to happen. Oh, okay. So that's just not. Oh, there we go.
It's just the angle to get stuck between spikes.
But anyway, that reminds me of how I moved straight from Metal Gear Solid 3 to Resident Evil 4, which was, for me, like, I was like, man, like, I can't believe, like, I just played 2 games this good back to back,
Right. For me, it's been a long time yet since I have that kind of like 9 or 10 out of 10 games. Literally finished Jedi Tuesday night and then picked this up Thursday afternoon.
Shrine treasure chests suck.
Yes, I've realized, like, it's not worth it, but at the same time, I
feel compelled.
Yeah, because the one that I don't do is going to have some, Hylian shield in it or something.
So we didn't really talk about it for the people not familiar with it, but I guess we've kind of shown. I didn't realize this is an object. But you have like a clip through the ceiling ability, essentially.
That's so much fun.
Which is super wild.
Did you see the interview this week with, I don't remember which one, but one of the developers I didn't recognize the name of, talked about where that ability came from? Did you catch that story?
No, I mean, I'm guessing it was like either a glitch or like a debug tool or something like that.
It was a debug, because testers would, the developers when testing would go into a cave, go into a temple. They would get to the end, and of course they don't want to. And they don't want to have to go and run back out, and you may not want to warp all the way up across the map to a previous shrine or something. So they would go and just use a thing that would raise their vertical position to get them out of there. And they realized how much fun they had just breaking stuff with that, and then that led to a whole new piece of the game.
I'm wondering if I actually need this ice cube. Probably not. Thinking I don't need that ice cube. Unless this isn't going to slide without the ice cube. It's actually
Yeah, the
really
timing.
hard to grab this.
Yes, it is really hard to get the timing.
Like, for some reason, like, it almost feels like there's a delay to grabbing it that there normally isn't.
I thought the exact same thing when I did this one. Okay, it went back right again.
I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
I honestly am not really sure what my goal here is, but obviously it must have something to do with... Oh, I see. That was a switch.
Your years of playing a lot of Zelda, a whole lot of it has just made you don't even know what you're doing and you do the right thing.
Yeah. Make sure I haven't missed any...
No, I think we just had our first. Oh, I guess if any from Streamlabs, I wouldn't see, but we did just have just now Tony Escobar with $9.99.
Oh, thank you, as always. Just at the beginning, so I can't watch this live. Just want to show my support. Good luck, try. Oh, almost sneezed. Sorry there. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I did realize this was a very unusual thing for us to stream. The latest, hottest, everyone's talking about it AAA game. But it was just like, it's an off night without Coury anyway. So why not? Why not do something a little different?
And it's hard not to be excited and want to do one of the biggest game releases.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like,
especially for Nintendo lovers.
Yes, it's like, well, this is what I want to be playing right now anyway. So why not just do it during
every moment? Yeah, you're over here playing, Ikari Warriors. Every moment you're going to be thinking about this.
Yeah, I mean, I did think like, it's Mother's Day. Coury's not around. Maybe I just shouldn't stream and just play Zelda. But then it's like, well, if I'm playing Zelda anyway, like,
might as well stream.
Why not stream it? I keep going back and forth on whether I want to focus on hearts or stamina increases more. Because, like, at first I was like, oh, I have a choice of hearts or stamina. I definitely want to do... ooh, look at this. I definitely want to do stamina. But then, like, just one stamina... like improved
such tiny bit.
Just that one bit like improved a lot, I feel.
Oh yeah.
I mean I would like more, of course, but like I feel like it definitely improved things a lot. And then I guess I'm doing this.
Whoa. You fell down a well.
I guess I'm doing this.
Oh, we're into this area, I see.
Oh dear.
You have no light at all.
Oh.
Okay, you land.
Okay.
Whew. I thought you were about to get splatted.
This might be a mistake. So, for those who don't know, I don't know if I should really even be playing in here, but like, for the stream purposes,
it's enough out there that I think most people, a lot of people have seen something that this exists.
People who haven't started already probably are aware of this region. I would suspect. I was unaware of this. Like I was hoping there was going to be some extensive underground exploration in this, but I honestly had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know about it before the game at all. I don't think any, this was a well-kept secret.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. This was not shown before.
No, this was not shown before release. Like none of the previews or any of it. Because I didn't watch every preview, but I watched a lot of it, and this was entirely new. But But I did hear about it shortly before. 'Cause it was in headlines. I use an RSS reader to get to go through news for gaming and technology and stuff every day. It's how I keep up on stuff. And it was. And I didn't read a lot of articles, but the headline alone kind of spoiled it, unfortunately, a little bit. But as that's why it's been in so many headlines that I don't think if you're just scrolling through social media, you're going to see that this exists. It's just like how it is the equivalent of playing Link to the Past. People would have if it would have been the internet age, everybody would have known about the Dark World before they ever played. $2 from Junko 988 wants to know if you've tried the Game Boy games on your OLED Switch.
Not sure if I have booted up the Game Boy app since getting my OLED. I mean, I've only had it for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I can say that much. That was actually one of the first things I did with my OLED was play the Game Boy games. I got one kind of late as well, but loaded up to see what they look like.
They do have like a DMG green view mode, right? I mean, I believe, yeah.
It's not. From what I understand, I've heard people that are like you get your critical people like Cho. I think does a lot of the palette stuff. I believe, and prove that it's not 100% accurate, but it's like a 90% type thing.
Yeah, I mean, DMG is very up to interpretation anyway. I was actually talking to Show about how to edit the what is it, .gbp files for that Mister uses, and it's a little complicated because you have to use like a weird script and stuff. But I managed to get done what I needed.
It's not just editing quick hex values or something.
Yeah. So as you can see, I've not really done a lot down here, and I don't know. What do you think for stream purposes? Should I be down here or should I
don't.
Go elsewhere?
I think it's okay. So some people are, I'm a avoid major spoilers type of person. So, but I don't. So that doesn't. I don't call that as a problem, but some people are obviously.
I guess my kind of thinking is like I don't know enough about the underground to really say like, am I going to run into spoilers down here? Because I don't know what under here might trigger a story of it.
True. Yeah. So, I haven't. The little bit I've been down there, haven't run into anything.
Yeah. Above ground, I have a little more idea of like how I can avoid main story stuff during the stream.
Yeah, you can literally see it coming, but you can't see anything down there until it's too late.
It's pretty interesting though, from what I've seen. I mean, I was definitely hoping for some underground action, and it looks like it's not going to disappoint. Let's see. So I still kind of want to go straight north, but I've got quite some mountains to get over here.
Yeah, I had some fun going through there. I went to that area after doing the tower, and it's I guess nothing really big. It's towards the Goron area, and you'd see it immediately when you go over there because you got towards the very hot, and it's interesting. I did the very beginnings of the Goron story, but quickly did not have realized I didn't have the appropriate stuff to do things correctly. And I could have brute forced my way, but I ended up going towards the way they suggested instead. Went northwest instead.
Have you figured out like what to do with wheels without an axle? Because like I tried like kind of just sticking them on the side of something and it didn't seem to roll without an axle. So I'm not clear on why all of these little construction spots have wheels.
Yeah, I haven't actually. Look, I told you I'm not the super creative type, so I haven't really messed with building stuff just for the heck of it yet. Mm-hmm. I do know other people have, such as literally 2 minutes ago, my roommate just texted me. I heard him laughing maniacally upstairs and just sent me a text that said, "Tanks are fun."
I did see in our Discord, someone posted something about someone made a tank, which looked pretty fun. The one
I know, it looks so much fun.
to the building stuff. And you know, I've seen a number of people say like, oh, like this looks too complicated, doesn't look like something I really want to do. But like really, like once they teach you this stuff early in the game, there's not like I've kind of found it's not necessarily like a constant presence in the game, like building stuff
Right.
all the time. Like you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And I think it's pretty interesting, but like, you know, I've found it nice to take a break from it here and there. And are you after me, Wolf? I don't want.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to eat wolf meat, but you know, if you're going to attack
Well, I'll try
me,
meat.
if you're going to attack
$5
me,
meat.
I wish I had gotten my horse out of the stable so I could ride a little bit, but like I say, I like. I don't know if it's as interesting for the stream, but I like just walking around and soaking in the atmosphere. I like taking my time. You know, the area that I always forget even exists in Breath of the Wild is like kind of like the more jungle type area. And I don't remember like anything important happening there. Like I remember exploring there, but I don't remember anything important happening. So I'm curious if there's like anything major that's like going to happen in that area.
I'm not sure.
I can't even remember exactly like what part of the map it was, but I remembered finding it probably more later in the game, and I'm like, wow, this is like really extensive, but like nothing essential that I recall happened in that region. You know, I did not. I did not do really as much as I would have liked to overall in Breath of the Wild. Like I put 75 hours into it, which I feel is less than most of my friends.
Right. Most people have 200 plus hours for sure.
Yeah.
I don't, but a lot of people do.
I wish I had done that or been able to do that with Breath of the Wild, but like I got to a point where I was satisfied with what I did, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll finish it. I could do like a million more things, but you know, gotta call it quits somewhere, or else I'll never like get anything else done ever.
And yeah, I didn't feel compelled in Breath of the Wild as much, but in this game, I feel like I end up putting a lot more hours. Like this game, for some reason, is just that much more compelling, much more sticky in my brain. At least, obviously, the newness factor of it, the recency bias, is obviously weighing heavy, considering it's a game we've played for a couple of days now.
Oh, here's this guy.
Yeah, for anybody that's coming in, and Zane's dad asking, Coury is, he's off. He's actually here in Florida doing some family stuff and work stuff. This for the beginning of the week. Zane's dad just dropped in a few minutes ago.
But most of the time these fall forward like that. But I've actually found him having a few different ones recently, but most seem to be pretty simple in general.
Yeah, I haven't run into him yet. My roommate was telling me about it.
Wait, you've never run into this guy?
I somehow haven't. I heard, because I was listening to a podcast that brought it up, and then he mentioned it. I was like, I haven't run into this guy yet.
He's like everywhere. Like,
yeah,
this is probably like, I've probably run into this guy like almost 10 times. And
wow.
The first time was actually like just, I think it's north of like that, see, sometimes it'll fall forward like that. So you gotta take that into account. He was like right in, like he was like right at the fountain, like between that that town, you know, that home base town kind of place,
Mm-hmm.
and the castle. He was like right there.
I somehow ran past him, and I didn't notice him or ran past him or something.
I wonder if you actually have to do that first tutorial before that first mission before he
shows up elsewhere. Yeah, might be. That might be why if I missed that one and I haven't run into, if he's that common as you say, it must be a trigger.
Bunch of times. Because is that going to work? For some reason, the talk prompt wasn't there.
I've had a couple of times where NPCs are weird with getting alignment to them before the talk prompt would pop up. Yeah, a couple of weird bugs.
I mean, with how you can just set anything anywhere, that's understandable. Yeah, I've probably seriously done this like 10 times already.
That explains why I've been so broke before I sold off a whole bunch of meat, because this game has the lowest amount of rupees out of any Zelda game so far.
I mean, I think
money is hard to come by
too, if I remember. I think it was. Well, I guess I'll use this crappy bow. Oh. Didn't even send the arrow far enough to kill it. Oh, well. I'm going to drop that stupid bow. I don't want it. Didn't want it anyway. Now, one of the reasons I went ahead and did the Reto area first was because I assumed, especially based on experience in the first game, or the previous game, I should say, I figured it would be where I would be able to gear up with cold gear stuff, cold weather gear.
Right.
And I just figured in general that would be a wise thing to go ahead and get one of the extreme temperature gear sets taken care of. Although I did not buy the pants because they're very expensive there.
Luckily, I found somewhere, like one of the very first things I found in the game. I don't even remember where. I think I'm back up in the sky. I found pants, cold weather pants, right off the bat.
That's what I'm wearing.
Yeah, so I did just, while I was doing the climb, I had to go get something else because you get to the extreme temperature level. So I warped back down there and sold a whole bunch of meat that I've been cheesing. Dang. Oh, dang, that hurt. I cheesed off of selling all that meat that the amiibo gave me. Because some of especially you scan Wolf Link. Wolf Link drops a crap load of high dollar meats when you scan him. When you scan the Twilight Princess one, and just like raining meats. And I had 99 of the regular meats and like 20 something of the prime meats. So I sold a bunch and got like 800 rupees. And then I bought the cold weather headpiece, which is funny because apparently attaching feathers to my ear protects me from, it's the same one obviously as Breath of the Wild. The same headpiece. It somehow putting feathers on my ear protects me from the cold. But sure, okay, that's what it takes.
So even these, this type of cave I don't recall if this type of cave was in Breath of the Wild or not. Like not the deep underground stuff, but
I don't think so. Like I don't remember if they were maybe few and far between. Only people who really adventured deep. But of the day finding a whole bunch of these, no, this seems like new.
I'm pretty sure this is generally a new feature.
I know I ran into one of them. I found some good stuff, but then ran into a stone talus that kept one-shotting me, and I eventually had to give up. I could
Oh,
not get.
yeah.
Man, he was tough.
I saw one of the big taluses once and decided I'm not even gonna try. Oh, now so here I'll show you here. I'll show you why the Hylian pinecone is pretty cool. Let's see. All right, drop all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oop, that weapon is not gonna get that job done. Oop, flint.
Wow, that's a lot more than a little tiny fire. It was a lot bigger.
Yeah, and so you see the huge gust that the pine cone gives it.
Wow.
And it only lasted a little while. But
still, okay, that's interesting for gaining some height when you need it.
Yeah, it's quite handy. Oh, crap.
Well, do you want a little tip for these?
Well, I guess I can just use a bomb flower.
That's what I was going to say is bomb flower when you see those.
They're relatively rare, though, although they're pretty common underground.
Yeah, the caves, they tend to spawn 2 or 3 in there.
But I was using them pretty willy-nilly for a while, and now I'm low.
Nana Cheesecake's got $5 just saying happy Sunday and hello, Henry.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hello to you, too. Glad to be here and helping out with the stream for tonight.
Let's see. I should just take an enhancement off of something and just make another hammer. Let's see. There we go. So now I have another hammer. I have not caught a fairy yet, and I don't recall exactly how you do that in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, so those fairies on your screen are the first time I've seen them at all. I haven't run across any fairies myself.
Yeah, they're not common. I mean, let me try sneaking a little, but I think they're pretty skittish.
I bet you probably.
Never mind.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, and it just caught. Okay, you don't have to do anything. Just.
I mean, just like bugs, like if you get lucky enough to be near a bug and hit the A button quickly enough, you can catch those too. Although I've not learned anything about. Oh, there's that thing.
Oh, yeah, the frog, or is it a frog? Yeah,
it's the bubble frog. Then it becomes that bunny and leaps away.
Yep, the bubble gem.
Some NPC told me something about a couple of people. I want to say it might be near the Elden horse stables or something like that. That want those. So that will presumably come into play when I find those people. But I mean, I've been collecting those since early in the game.
Right, yeah. I've got 3, 4, 5 of them, something like that. I'm sure they'll be useful somewhere.
There wasn't a whole lot in that cave. It's funny how it actually saved at the entrance of this cave and did not respawn the Lazaphos. Luckily, even if you don't have the warmer clothes, the pepper berries or the peppers are they're all over the place.
Very peppers common. Yep, as well as I like the I forget what the other one's called, the one that allows you to basically put fire on your arrows. Those things are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
The fire fruit or something like that.
Yeah. You know what you were talking about, the the pants that I'm wearing now, because yeah, I didn't upgrade the pants in the Rito Village because they are slightly stronger, but they're
1,000 rupees
yeah,
or
they're 1,000
1,050.
rupees. So yeah, I did not buy those. I'd like to eventually buy them, but I did not need them. It never got cold enough to where I needed to add cold resistance on top of what I already am wearing. Um, so that was okay. But oh, oh, hello.
Goblin trying to take you down.
Uh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the place where you found those pants. The shrine that was up there, like I never figured out if there was like a normal way to get up there, or if you were just because like I built like a super janky construction out of just trees that I cut down, like just some just indescribable shape to actually get up on that cliff. And I don't really know what you're supposed to do.
Right. I just did a lot of weird climbing and stamina, and yeah.
I was actually really impressed, and because obviously you have to do the first shrine first so that you can get your building ability. But then the other two, the weapon fuse and the pass through the ceiling abilities. Oh, an Octorok. I believe there was no reason you couldn't do those in either order, but I was still very impressed that that you could there were also a lot of other important tutorial things regarding the different Zonai devices and several other things where I was like, wow, it's actually impressive that these tutorials are placed in such a way where it seems like I can do these things in either order, but they're still placed in such a way where I'm likely to run across them anyway, because that opening sky area is quite large.
Yeah.
So
it feels, if you didn't know that there was so much more coming, it was just like the first game when you're on that the Great Plateau, like this feels huge. And then you realize how small it really is compared.
That I thought that first area was really well designed.
Yeah. Like I went the wrong way about it and went through a different way, skipped a whole bunch of stuff apparently versus what it's like my roommate about what he said. Wait, you didn't do this? Like, no, I went around this way and went up here and climbed through this, did some stuff I realized probably barely did. Like there's no way it was intended to be that way. Still ended up at all the same shrines and got everything. And it was just an interesting path that I took, and I made it work and found some extra stuff, missed some other things, and the game compensates for it.
Yep. Man, I wonder how they came up with the names for all the shrines.
They've got a generator somewhere, has to.
I see someone in the chat saying they missed the bomb power from Breath of the Wild, but I have come across just bombs in addition to the bomb flowers that you can just pick up and throw, which I don't think were in Breath of the Wild.
I don't believe so. Any wild bombs? Yeah, there's Zonai bombs. Yeah.
Were there bomb flowers that you could just take with you in Breath of the Wild? I mean, I guess there wouldn't have been a reason for them.
Yeah, I don't believe. I'm trying to remember if there were bomb flower type things that you could set off, but I believe you use your two from your bomb power.
But I think the bomb flowers are quite a nice item for this game. They're a lot of fun to use.
Yeah. It's one of they gave you new stuff and took some old stuff away. They had to balance it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bombs would be nice, but we've got other cool powers to play with.
I was not paying attention to what the what the description of this level was. Oh, it might be another ball thing at some point. Can I wriggle that off? No. It is firmly stuck there. I'm sure there are many ways to do this, but I'll stick with what I know. Where's the flint? Where's the flint? I haven't used up all my flint, have I? Surely not. Have I used up all my flint? Oh, there it is. Oh, that Pico went over there. Can I pick it up?
Whoops.
Oh, well.
Oh, no, it was used.
Yeah, sometimes dumping everything in a pile.
Doesn't quite work right.
Whoa, and that didn't. Oh, they don't let you do that in here.
Oh, do you not get your glider, or is it just because you can't get enough speed?
No, there wasn't even a current. There wasn't even an upward current.
It's a little. I'm watching through the Discord stream, so some stuff's a bit blurry when you get moving fast.
I did not see an upward current, so.
Come to think of it, okay, now I'm thinking about it. You're right. Yeah, I saw the smoke, but not.
I didn't see an upward current. I was jumping and pressing the B button. I mean, I put jump on B. Oh, I didn't see this over here. This is clearly a solution to.
I've been tempted to reprogram the controls, but I haven't, because the controls are a lot of the ability. I should say the functions of the buttons aren't too terribly different from Jedi Survivor, but obviously their mappings are drastically different. And I've had a heck of a time after I put about 50 hours into that game over 10 days.
Oh wow!
Like I that's what it's. It wasn't quite that as many hours as that. Some of it was messing with technical problems, but yeah, I played a lot of it in a short time period, and so I'm trying to use those. I'm still, after probably 12 to 15 hours of this game, I'm still trying to use the Jedi control scheme a lot.
Well, I mean, yeah, I because there is an in-game menu in this function, and this was in Breath of the Wild as well, where you can swap B and X, so that the default is jump on X, which that's the default in Final Fantasy 14, and I'm fine with that in that game, but like in this game, jumping is a lot more important, and I feel like it would annoy me for jump to be on I think I'd be annoyed for it to be on X for this whole game. But I think the part of the reason is because when if you're canceling like a function or something, that puts it on X instead of B, and so I think that's why they did that. But it doesn't bother me that much, although I do sometimes mess up. But it doesn't bother me that much because I tend to think in terms of like, well, a lot of like PS2 games have see there, I just accidentally was getting ready to throw that because I hit R instead of L to switch my powers, but you can hit X to just cancel that. But I can't. That's too high up. I have not really got a solid sense yet of what's like the height of a your vertical teleport.
Yeah, I've in the area I did a lot of ascending recently.
Yes,
it kind of taught me that where the limits are.
Yes.
And talking about the controls, Tom Tycoon just brought up something that something is a little awkward, but I finally brought back my memory from Breath of the Wild. Sprinting and then jumping is a weird combination to do with these controls, and I end up like moving my hand like in a claw position.
Yeah,
like,
you do the
I don't have
claw.
yeah, it's like obviously it's the only controller I have here is my Xbox controller on this desk. But yeah, where I'm running like this, so I move my hand up and then run with my hand on top of the controller, like doing this instead, because I'm not trying to straddle my thumb over A and B and X. I'm staring at Xbox controller.
I don't feel like though you really have to like run and jump.
I can't not do that when I'm leaving a platform because in my mind I'm always terrified. Like, what if I don't quite make the flight? I need to get as much horizontal ground covered as I can.
Yeah.
So when I make that leap,
I could be wrong, but I don't think you really have to. I wish you could put dash as like a left stick toggle, like.
Yeah, that's been one of the hardest things. Is I know I could probably remap that in the Switch software, but yeah, that being on there on B instead of being on, because every other third person game run is on the left on L3 or whatever you want to call it.
That would definitely be nice.
Because I do that. I crouch, especially when I get into big fights and I'm panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm going to run away. And then I crouch and get the crap kicked out of me.
Yep. And really like that's an issue I have like in a lot of games in general, especially when, because it's not uncommon to have crouch on a stick. And I don't mind it most of the time, but yeah, if things get too intense, like sometimes like my grip tightens and like I accidentally like click to crouch like in the middle of a fight. I'm like, oh, why am I moving so slow?
Yeah, mine's just I want to run. I want to click to run, and it doesn't work that way in this game.
I feel like I have misjudged how to acquire that ball. Like that ball must just like there must.
I haven't done this one.
I think I see what I gotta do. Does it go in that?
Lord X Mugen pointed out something I've definitely felt, that even though I grew up as primarily nothing but Nintendo, as an adult I spend more time with an Xbox controller, playing stuff on PC or on Xbox, or the A and B button being backwards again when you're thinking about, okay, I need to hit A and I'm hitting it. To me, even though I still love Nintendo, like A, B, the Sega / Xbox style makes a lot more sense, where A is to the left and B is to the right.
It does make sense. I mean, it originates to where the NES was B on left, A on right. And I agree it doesn't make sense, but like the Nintendo muscle memory is like so strong for me.
It was for years. At this point, it's shifted on me because again, like I love the Switch exclusives, but I spend more time playing stuff on PC, and a lot of times even my Switch stuff I play on PC. Yeah. So I'm thinking about Xbox controller when I'm doing that is A and B buttons are and I'm sure that A and B being backwards, maybe that's something to do with the traditional right to left reading. Instead of left, we're in the West, we were left to right. I don't know.
Is this a key door?
It looks like it, but I've not seen a key.
Anywhere. Yeah, if it is, I've not run across keys before.
Yeah, Kayla Gamer, that's what I was saying. Right to left isn't, because I believe isn't that the standard with isn't that Japanese is right to left primarily?
Well, Japanese is read left to right, but the pages of books go from right to left.
Okay.
But the language is read in the same direction as ours, but it's just that books are arranged differently for reasons that I don't know.
I think I would have realized that. I have dealt with enough stuff that I should have realized that. But yeah, so how did Nintendo come up with B being to the left then?
I have no idea why that happened. But, I would say, I definitely put the most time into Nintendo and PlayStation systems, and my heart is always with Nintendo stuff. So I do, you know, I've only like ever like maybe once or twice had like a brain fart going back from Xbox to Nintendo. That is quite rare for me to have that kind of issue.
I've spent a lot more time in my life playing Nintendo platform stuff than Microsoft, but for some reason, it didn't take long for Microsoft to wire my brain for using their method, which I guess technically Sega's first. Sega used that pattern.
Yeah, I've actually been dealing with the Dreamcast controller. I'll only a little bit, but we started playing Code Veronica on the Backloggery streams, just a replay for fun.
Mm-hmm.
We started that last week, and I had not used a Dreamcast controller in a pretty long time, or at least not like used it to like actually like play all the way through a game. And I was doing some research because I'd only previously ever played the GameCube version, and it seemed like it was actually fewer differences with Code Veronica X and the original Dreamcast. And I thought, I'd like to play this with my DC Digital and just play the original version of that. I thought that'd be a fun thing to do. Man, this shrine, I am not seeing the solution. I feel like I need a key, is my thinking. I've not come across keys yet, but I'm thinking I need a key to whoops. I think I need a key to open that door, because that's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only thing that really makes sense, because that type of door is new to me.
Somebody did mention that it does use a key. Somebody said earlier in the chat.
That's got to be it.
So,
this one's a puzzle. You know, when it does the when you do the through the ceiling ability, I often wonder when it does that little animation, like, you know, where it like cuts to like the void and you see like the sparkles like all moving around you and stuff, right? I often wonder if part of that's probably because it's hard to animate, but I also wonder if sometimes it's also there to mask loading, especially if you're like traveling from, say, inside a cave back up to, you know, the overworld.
Right.
Like, I could definitely see it also being necessary for that.
Yeah, but though they still obviously have a fixed time, because I did one earlier where I was going through a very thin platform and I could see, and I was transitioning. I could see, so it loaded the outer area the way that I jumped up to it. But then it still took a really long time to go through it. I'm like, I'm just going through a very thin piece. And it did a full animation. I'm like, that's just a long time to swim through this little quarter-inch thick piece here.
Oh, I can travel up through. I thought, last time I checked, I thought that was too far. But that still doesn't bring me anywhere new.
Where could they be hiding the key?
It's gotta be a key. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Mr. Do suggests that they bring back the Jaguar controller layout.
Oh, anything but that.
Come on, T9 entry for your gaming.
Oh, what's
Who
this?
doesn't want that?
What's this?
Jail bars.
It is jail bars, but it's jail bars that I have the power to get to the other side of. Okay, is this revealing new secrets? I was hopeful. Oh,
Oh,
I don't see how that was actually taking me anywhere new though. What about here? There's something I'm overlooking here. Oh wait, duh. See, this game makes you think about things in such a different way than you're used to in general. I could just get to the other side of, right? I can just get to the other side of that barrier over there. Like this, right? No. Wait. Like, wouldn't you think that could be possible?
it could be.
But there's nothing in there but a glider though. And how's that going to get me a key?
Well, that glider, obviously, there's a glider track right there, so maybe there's something you're just not seeing. Glider could help with?
But there's no... I think I suspect the glider is for getting the marble to the exit. That's got to be what that's for. I feel like it's definitely got to be about using the ceiling ability to get somewhere unexpected.
The rest of the ceiling was too high, I think, wasn't it? Oh, you're in a different part.
See, I'm in here, but there's no... See, if there was a treasure chest on top of here, that'd be like, aha. There's nothing over here. There's nothing
What's past the lasers? Like, what's in the other room there? What's in that other part of the room past the lasers?
There's nothing.
Oh, no, that's back here. Okay.
Yeah. Those enemies didn't drop like a key or something that I overlooked, right?
Somebody's suggesting you walk into the lasers. Like, I'm guessing those ones to your left right now.
I've come across lasers a few times. I've never walked into one, so
yeah, like who knows? It might not be.
Maybe it's not that bad. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me? Oh,
yeah, I know. My instinct is to let's avoid them, but you've done everything else. Might as well see what happens when you trip lasers.
You're definitely going to laugh when you see something with lasers.
There's the treasure chest
in your near future in the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you will for sure laugh when you see it.
Small key.
But I never ran into those lasers. But
yeah, no, instinct tells you don't step into lasers in video games.
Now I'm wondering what would happen if I did run into those lasers that I came across just before the stream.
Yeah. Rabbit Valley comments that it's honestly a bad puzzle if you've ever played Breath of the Wild because it trains you that all lasers are instant death.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah,
Sane Rub, surprised they weren't sharks with freaking laser beams strapped to their heads.
I mean, if
Austin Powers.
If this floor were translucent, that'd be one thing. But I have to agree that is arguably a bad puzzle.
Yeah, there's nothing great there other than there is a slightly different color to the floor, but yeah, that's not. I would say that's not good enough. But they've made a really great game with a lot of great stuff. You know, and not everything is going to be perfect.
Not everything's going to be perfect. That is one thing right there that I have deemed that was not perfect.
Yep. Hey, they've made everything else so good. If they screw up on 2% of puzzles are less than ideal, I guess I can, I'll look past it.
Okay, so these things are definitely really fun.
The gliders, yeah.
That said, I probably need to move forward a little bit. I always get scared of it like taking off.
It's going to take off without, yep.
Of course, I guess it doesn't matter in this case necessarily. I don't have to be riding it. Whoa, but oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Was I too heavy for it?
Did you turn the fans on? I couldn't tell if it didn't look like they were
Oh, I
running.
didn't turn the fans on. You're right. Oh no, I assume the marble is where it was, but
It's got to be back in the spawn point.
yeah, but I'm sure the door is open now at least. I should eat a little food. It's amazing to me to hear though that this isn't really the same engine as Breath of the Wild because of so many things like, you know, I mean, again, it's been a long time since I played it, but like animations like Link eating food and stuff like that, it's like it's all the same, you know?
Well, even with a different engine, you can bring in the same assets, and
That's
I gotta
true.
imagine the animation is just going to be movement of the asset.
I'm sure it's largely, I mean, I'm sure, you know,
I gotta imagine it's probably related.
It's an evolution.
Evolution, yeah.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I thought. Like I said, others said it isn't, but I have a hard time believing that if they use Splatoon engine for this, that Splatoon wasn't based on, you know, something that there was probably other games that were iterative to make Splatoon from Breath of the Wild.
It's actually, whoa! Bonk. The rocket engines are really fun.
I haven't played with them yet. I've picked one up. I've got in a Zonai capsule, so I haven't got to use it yet though, and I haven't found any in the wild in the areas I've been.
Now, why were those not draining my battery? Is that not
batteries don't seem to drain in the temple or the shrines, from what I've gathered.
Interesting. So there are some different rules here.
Yeah, and it makes sense because that would be arbitrarily difficult sometimes in the shrine. You're just sitting and waiting for no reason when they know that's, you know, you're limited in scope because you're in a room. It's not like you're in the
I'm not going to look behind the shrine. I'm going to free myself. I'm going to free myself from this.
Gonna try to break the OCD trait.
Yeah. Ooh, I've got 4. Unfortunately, I've only found that, at least I can remember, found 2 locations to deposit the blessings of light. And honestly, I don't remember what the reward was for completing shrines in Breath of the Wild.
This like orb thing. I forget what it was called though.
Yeah, but I don't remember. Whoa, what's that rip? What is that?
That's where you died. That's where you died last.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's showing a cave. Huh. Funny. But yeah, I actually only know of, and I'll go to the early game location just to avoid spoiling people, because the other one is an area that I wouldn't want to necessarily show on stream.
Yeah, I've only found 2 as well, where I feel like they were all over the place in Breath of the Wild.
So is that what you did in Breath of the Wild? You deposited shrine rewards and then chose
Correct.
Stamina or hearts? It was the same deal? Okay.
Exactly same thing.
I could not remember at all.
Yep, you need 4 shrine tokens or whatever. I forget what they're called. Basically 4 shrine orbs, and then you get to choose an upgrade.
Yeah, this one is a little less convenient to get to, but I'm just going to do it so it's a lot less spoilery. Less spoilery. I mean, not that what I would show would be super spoilery, but it, you know,
lower chance.
Yeah. You know, I should wonder where they're located. There's an NPC up in this starter area that makes those like charge battery things. And I didn't have enough.
Oh yeah, you could upgrade them. That's right.
Yeah, I didn't have enough last time. I wonder if I should maybe try to seek them out and see what happens. I like how this rewind ability does not like it is limited for the use, but like after I take it off, I can use it again immediately. Like there's no like it feels like there should be like a recharge, but there's not, which is nice.
Yeah, I haven't used it as much as I should. I'm sure there's going to be some really interesting puzzles and some really game-breaking stuff from that rewind function, I think.
You know, I feel like the stamina would be more useful, but I feel like sometimes I'm feeling the heat of my lack of hearts. So
yeah, there's a lot of
and
things that
oftentimes
single shot.
Huh?
There's a lot of things that hit much harder in this game, I feel, than in Breath of the Wild.
I mean, you know, maybe it's just because I know a little more about what to expect, but I do feel like I've run into less situations thus far where, you know, early on in Breath of the Wild, I feel like I remember running into a lot more situations where it's like, oh, wow, I like can't even pass this area because there's just these like really strong moblins or something, you know?
Wait, in this game or in Breath of the Wild?
In Breath of the Wild, like I was just like, wow, I can't even go this way because I die every time I try to go here, you know?
Yeah.
In this game, I haven't really run into that where like I've just been like, okay, I'm going to have to find another route. Like I have not found that yet.
But I still found that I felt like there's still more larger enemies that hit for crazy amounts of damage. Like, at least I felt I've run into more.
I'm going to teleport back to where I was, but I just thought it would be fun to skydive. Ooh, what's that? There's something out there. Can I make it? I'm not sure where it is relative to here, but there's like a really ominous looking orb somewhere in the sky. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen it? There's just like
not recalling.
Yeah, if you just look up in the sky, there's an ominous looking orb. I'm curious
I don't think I remember that.
Whoa!
Ooh,
I made it.
You
It's probably going to be terrible. Huh, that's
no. There you go.
I'm so mad about how I blew 2 of those trying to solve a puzzle.
I haven't used one. I haven't used any of the charges yet.
Ooh, there's a. Let's see if I can make it to that horse stable because I don't think I've been to that one yet. Ooh, and there's a shrine in the middle of a forest there. I don't think I've been over here. Oh yeah, this is towards the Zora lands. I have not been this way.
Yeah, the weird stuff he's talking about. I want to get into it, but I know that gets into too much of the story for this early in the, like, the oddities going on around a certain character.
Yeah, I should probably not talk to this guy too much more for that. Or I should probably not pursue that line of questioning too much.
Yeah, because that definitely was getting into main story territory, or at least involved with it.
I got pony points.
Pony points.
I will take a horse. Yeah, I caught this horse that I named Ophalope, which is just which is a dumb word me and my friends in high school made up. We just called each other ophalopes.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, I already have a horse. I have tri-horse. Let's give Ophalope a chance.
I think you don't like using you don't use Amiibo in the game.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, I was at my parents' house for the weekend up until up until a few hours ago. So I didn't even have my Amiibo with me when I started the game.
We've got all the Zelda ones here, but except for the newest one, it's coming in the beginning of the week. But I'm still cheesing and using programmable NFC tags. So it just got a bunch of these little tiny circles instead of having to carry around 26 Amiibo.
Yeah, I do have like all of the Guardians or whatever they're called. Not the Guardian. The Guardians were like the robot things, right?
Yeah.
Like the
champions.
The champions, yeah. Oh, hey, look, there's chickens. I don't remember chickens.
Hit them. Swing at the cuckoos. See if you can get Link killed.
I mean, it dropped
whoa,
an egg.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I haven't seen. Does it happen?
Okay,
yes!
Ophalope.
Yes!
Let's get out of here!
Yes! I love it.
Let's go! Oh, no!
Oh! Tri-horse said, see ya. Holy crap. Did they stop?
It was making like rocket sounds, too. It was like pew, pew.
That was awesome. Well, glad that you can survive it in this game. Unlike, you do that in 2D games or Ocarina of Time, and you might as well reload.
Yeah, it actually did not last that long. Luckily,
they only took a quarter health on each hit as well. Quarter heart.
Hey, Sandy, look at that horse. Hey, it's the Turok Shrine.
Wonder if you can find some dinosaurs in there.
Like, seriously, how did they come up with the names for all these? Like you'd think they would have had to have used AI to come up with with some parameters of like what would be an acceptable name.
Yeah, come up with old English fantasy names. Go.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not even really Old English. Like, I mean, like a lot of it, like, I mean, very much uses like the sorts of syllables that you would expect in like Japanese, right? So,
True.
It's something that would be easily written in both English and Japanese. Oh man, it's another ball puzzle. I hadn't run into balls until this stream, and now it's like almost every shrine I do.
Oops, all balls.
Oops. I've also not seen this lava. I've not. Ooh, look at this. This is big wheels. Look at this.
Yep. This isn't the one, but this is similar to the one I told you that I did all kinds of screwed up and then watched how simple it was after the fact.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize an object would stay. Oh wait! Wait! Wait!
Wait! Like chasing the bus. Wait for me!
I didn't think this through before. Oh, this is like a all-wheel, all-terrain vehicle.
Right? Just take the whole car.
Why not? These sloped bars are weird. What's the purpose of that? Oh. Okay.
Just a random wheel standing there. Okay.
Thoughts, I guess. Let's see. What if? Let's see here. Oh, that? And, okay, that can... Wait a second. So that's... Okay, this object... Oh, okay, that's attached. Okay. Okay. So, if I attach that, and then... Let's see. Attach
Yes, definitely a different thinking one here.
Wait, that's not gonna work. Maybe more like over here. And then maybe. Let's see what happens. Not quite.
Well, it doesn't. It's not quite working there. It's not making contact.
But it's close. I mean, just add a little thickness to it, right? This should. Oh, it's too far over. Oh, no, not that. Nope, not that.
So you were asking about the shrine names. A friend that's watching and heard us talking about it sent me a text that at least with Breath of the Wild, the shrine names are developers' anagrams. The developer name's anagrammed. So I don't know if it's the same here for the sequel, but yeah.
So kind of like the old S. Miyahan and Tintin, like in Zelda 1, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like these are the link she sent me. So like Burita Naga and Daka Tusk Shrine both sound like a sim ordering curry. They are anagrams of the developers' names. Yeah. Or at least part of the system tool developer's name was a Masatoshi Ogawa, and the shrine name became Goma Asaga.
Ah.
They use they don't use the full names in a lot of cases, but like Masatoshi Ogawa became just Masa Oga, and then they anagrammed it. But yeah, that's at least how they were. That's how they were doing it then.
That's
I assume probably still pulling similar stuff. I would think.
Yeah, I mean that's a good way to do it. I should have thought of that. I don't want that centered. I want more like over here. There we go.
Even Eiji Aonuma had his name turned into a shrine.
Oh.
Aonuma became Omen Ah. Oman Ah. Which makes me think, I wonder if that was like probably one of those like extremely difficult
Maybe.
Like, I wonder if that was like the peak shrine, like some really difficult one, if Aonuma had his name on it.
Why can't I get this turned around? Oh, it... Weird. Why does that arrow insist on pointing that way? Why can't I rotate? Anyway, I feel like this should work anyway. No?
Huh.
Really?
This is...
That's odd. Let me check at the top of this. See if there's any other clues up here.
Is there like a platform maybe to bridge the two each pillar, like to make a solid row, like a platform between each level of pillar, so it has traction?
I mean, there's not that much platform available in general, but yeah.
Yeah, they steal that and rework it somehow. It'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, but see, the thing is, this area, however, is like that. Like it's not like a spot that things can be stuck to.
Oh.
See, like I can't like attach an object to this slope.
Oh, I just assumed you could, angle it across multiple levels there.
I mean, I guess that kind. Oh, what if? What if I do this? You know, I feel like the box art for this game could have just... And in fact, I think I think it was even the Digital Foundry thumbnail. I've seen some art of Link doing the thing Coury was talking about last week with the hand reaching out.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's using the Force.
Yeah, that could have easily been... that could have easily been the box art for this game, but I have seen key art for the game doing that very thing. But that's still not going to be low enough, so maybe that's where this comes in. Oops! Nope! Not to that. Stop that.
Yeah, there's somebody else in chat said they just ended up they found the cheese solution here because they could not figure out the proper way to do it.
Honestly, up until this stream, I've not really had like a lot of trouble with shrines. Maybe it's just a combination of being distracted by streaming and also just doing more difficult shrines.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I might have it. No, why would I stick a wheel to that? Oh no! Get off.
It's stuck to the board instead of the block.
I do like that they actually visualize like how it's stuck with this like mystical green glue, gooey glue.
I know.
I mean, like I say, this game is not afraid to be a video game. And I
know, it's what we need. Not every video game has to be real life.
Yes.
Well, now I guess the wheel's sticking to the bottom board. Then I'm going back and forth between looking at the real time on Discord, which you can barely see it so pixelated or so macro blocky, and looking at the YouTube stream, which is like 5 to 7 seconds behind.
Okay.
Legend of Zelda: Tears of My Wallet says video game obsession. Yep, Nintendo got away. They knew this game would be the $10 wasn't going to stop would stop very few people from buying this game. They complain about it and they would spend it anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
and they were right.
I have bought very, very, very few $70 games thus far.
Same. Same. God of War
at that price. I mean,
yeah.
I did Demon Souls remake. I did Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Demon Souls, or all I can think of right now is before this was God of War. Even with Jedi, I didn't pay for that. I got it free from AMD from upgrading my PC. Which I'm glad. That game had such huge performance issues on PC. I would have been mad if I paid money for it, as much as I love the game. Tears of the Kingdom made me rush it because that's something that I was much more worried about getting spoiled with than this game, because I'm a really big Star Wars lore fan, so I didn't want to.
I should have just done that a long time ago.
Just found your way to cheese it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious what the intended solution is, but I have not become very good at understanding vehicle mechanics in this quite yet. Okay, so I assume these, can they move forward in water?
As long as they can reach the bottom, they should be able to tread water, I think. Or maybe not. No, you're okay. Again, I'm making the mistake of looking between two different streams.
Yeah, it's
Discord's gone so macro blocky that I can't. It's lower resolution than Ocarina of Time right now on my screen.
I mean, yeah, that's why I normally don't send.
It was good for a while, actually, but
to the stream guest, but sometimes it's necessary. I mean,
yeah,
in like a sprite based game, it's it's a lot more workable too. Anyway.
Like it's actually comical how what it looks like on my screen right now. it's running as if you were playing Breath of the Wild on an original Game Boy.
Oh.
Like it's really low pixel count and heavy macro block. There's something under the water.
There's got to be a way to drain this, because there's a treasure chest. Unless it might be possible to grab the treasure chest.
Video Game Obsession wants to know, does this game feel more like a classic Zelda than Breath of the Wild?
Oh, I can just grab it. Not really so far. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, because I know Henry hasn't done any of the dungeons yet. I've done one. But for the most part, it was similar to my memory of dungeons and in Breath of the Wild, which I thought were fine. I mean, not as good as like the dungeons in most other Zelda games, but I thought they were okay. But there was at least one aspect of the dungeon I have done that I thought was leagues above anything I saw in Breath of the Wild. But I won't say what that aspect was, but I was impressed.
Yeah, I thought so far it's still closer to Breath of the Wild than an original Zelda for sure. This is not a return to form with dungeons. Like the temples that they have are not. I do know that they're not quite the same as doing dungeons. Like I literally walked into it before, so I haven't played through it, but I walked into it and looked around for about 30 seconds. I can tell it's not the same as a dungeon. It's probably more, I would assume, more akin probably to the the robot animals from the last game,
Mm-hmm.
but as a closer to that than Full Dungeon from the little bit I've seen. But it's still like it's a great, absolutely great game. But it is still for some reason, if you absolutely hated Breath of the Wild, I don't think this isn't going to bring you around. I don't.
And I understand the desire for those more classic elements. I mean, I don't want us to never get a Zelda like a classic ever again. But I do wonder, like, when you've made something of this scale before, like how can
you go back?
How can you scale back to the elements that people are missing?
That's the hard question.
Like, how can you scale back to that without like disappointing people or making it seem like a step back? I don't know.
My thought is, and I could be off base here, and I think this would be a win-win for everyone, is make the distinction as in, if you're going to go back all the way and make them 2D. Like, don't make Ocarina, don't continue the idea of Ocarina of Time, but expand in the way you did Link Between Worlds. Make your 2D-ish game.
Yeah. Or more along the lines of what they did with,
Link's Awakening remake
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree. And, considering, that, console and handheld are combined now, there's no reason they can't do that.
Yeah. And I think that could make everybody happy, because the type of people who are clamoring for original style are probably the same people who would, even if they definitely appreciate and love Ocarina of Time style, would be just as happy with a 2D game, or in a lot of cases probably more happy. So I think they could they could appease. They could have a separate team that works on, quote, smaller scale, even though nobody's ever going to call A Link to the Past a smaller scale game compared to this, though. Anything is a smaller scale game. But maybe you can make it. Well, 2D games are going to be the more traditional, and then we have 3D games for our big expansive experience that you're going to put 100 hours into. I
mean, I would love for them to do something I've thought about for a long time, like, why can't they give Final Fantasy 17 to the HD 2D team? Like, why not? They won't, but why not?
Because Final Fantasy, I don't think has, like, it's got tons of fans, but I think I don't think they've got the thing to support. If they made a mainline Final Fantasy game in 2D, I don't think that would go. But
at the same time, like, I really wonder where this idea came from that they no longer can, they can no longer do Final Fantasy in, total turn-based format, because you don't see people, you just never saw people saying, like, oh man, I wish Final Fantasy were more of an action game. Like, no one said that.
True, but at the same time, I gotta say, after playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, I fell in love with that battle system, and that's why I loved Crisis Core Remake, because of it.
That battle system is a very good compromise, I think.
Yes, and I
will agree, but at the same time, like, it makes me sad to think that I may never again see, a turn-based Final Fantasy. I mean, sure, we've got stuff like Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default and stuff like that, but
you're probably right. I don't think we will.
Should remain traditional, but I would love to see, like, what they did with Final Fantasy 13. Like, I know the game is not the most popular, but where it was an ATB based menu driven combat system, and but with the visual fidelity cranked up to 11, right? Um, I would love to see them do that again someday. But I'm absolutely very excited for Final Fantasy 16 and all, and I agree. I think that Final Fantasy 7 remake was a good compromise on action versus ATB. So I kept trying to figure out real ways to do those puzzles, but I just ended up cheesing it. I guess maybe I could have made a vehicle that would have spanned those center columns and like driven across that. Maybe. But I just made really long bridges. That was my solution to everything here.
There was an article today talking about like this game is just is for a lot of people turned into just building massive bridges to do everything. And since they despawn if you get too far away from them, some people are building like these like 100-foot long bridges and just carrying with them everywhere they go. It's their emotional support bridge or something. And they're just going and doing the whole game with these giant bridges.
That's really funny, actually. Yeah. That sounds both annoying and kind of fun.
Yeah, just the dedication of this is my bridge and I'm going to use it.
There's no way you could get through the whole game though, because like it would definitely you couldn't take it to the sky and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's plenty of places it gets despawned, but if when you build that giant bridge, there's probably lots of stuff you can just go
you could
all across the map and do this, do this, do this.
Yeah, you could go ahead and do all the towers and stuff like that. Like I wonder if it's even possible to like what if you could build like a bridge that would like go all the way from like the foot of Death Mountain all the way to the top, or build a bridge that might actually like go all the way like to a platform in the sky. I mean, that would be. I mean, unless they have a limit imposed for technical reasons of how many objects can be attached to each other, like I don't see why you couldn't just like go to every part of the world that has like one of those like board place little outposts where the boards are, and just like I mean it definitely seems plausible.
Yep, go and keep building it larger and larger and take it with you everywhere.
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of want to. Well, although there is a. Well, I'm going to teleport back to where I was because I wanted to get up to that tower there, and I wanted to continue pushing forward in that direction because ultimately I did want to go to the Elden region next. Oh, that looks unpleasant off that way.
Yeah, I have not used the camera like I should, not a single time.
I haven't used it a lot either. I just happened to think of it there. I wonder if I can call my horse. I'm guessing no.
Yeah. They don't seem to have a very large range.
Yeah, I always like how they like spawn it like where you're not you're not in like Ocarina of Time. It's like it always like appears right there, but it's wherever you're not facing.
Yeah. I got used to it coming to me, but it's a Jedi Survivor. You tame animals on certain planets, and when you call them, they will spawn. I caught them spawning a few times too. The game tried to hide it, but I caught them like, nope, you just blinked that thing into existence. I caught you. But it was nice always having a mount available when you needed it. They, at the risk of a very minor Jedi Survivor spoiler, one of the planets has almost a chocobo looking like creature, but you use it like Yoshi. And I even have a screenshot. I found a group of about 5 or 6 different colored ones running around as a herd. Like
Wow.
it looked like a cutscene, like out of Smash Brothers, like when you see all their Yoshis together. And what's great is the reason these are definitely Yoshi. There's a few puzzles where you use it to you pull a Mario world where you basically sacrifice the Yoshi. You use that as a third jump.
I do not want to be chased by a bear and a Lizalfos. why don't you
make the
fight
bear and
each other?
Lizalfos fight themselves? There you go. See, maybe not.
I guess.
Nope.
Hang on, I can do this maybe.
What does Muddle Bug do? Oh, okay. Confuses him.
Well, I think so, but I've not been ultra successful with it thus far. I've only experimented with it a time or two. He does seem to not be very good at fighting right now. So, sorry, Chris, that you're disappointed in my solutions. I'm also disappointed in my solutions. But you know what? I have not played a tremendous amount of Minecraft or anything like that in my day. And so like this game makes you think in ways that I'm not used to games making me think, you know?
I am the exact same boat there.
Which I think it's really awesome, but like a lot of it is like a pretty novel and unusual experience for me. I'm not used to like just straight up like making your own contraptions and using physics to quite that extent.
Yeah, it's definitely not how I'm used to thinking, where I'm just used to doing games. Okay, I'm going to use this tool to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Not I'm going to use this tool to create this to go do that.
Which, I mean, it's awesome, but it's definitely exercising, muscles that I am not used to exercising in games. Oh, you saw that coming. It still amazes me really how, I mean, granted, like I'm not playing all the AAA games out there these days or anything like that, but like I don't think that many games that I'm aware of have really taken all that many impactful ideas from Breath of the Wild.
No, it's really, you would think it's been a lot more. Like everybody expect 2017. Everything's about to go with this crazy expansive open world with shrine types up, and so few people.
Yeah, people might think of that Ubisoft game that I can't even remember the name of, but
Immortals.
But it's very superficial, right? Like it's not. It looks like Breath of the Wild, but it's not actually, using its ideas in a way that. Whoa! The fire thing just made that entire Lizalfos just evaporate.
Yeah, I did notice that with another thing. I ran into a whiz robe, and I think somebody told me. I think Chris Fratz may have suggested, and I was streaming in Discord to hit it with a something ice based. I think it was a fire one, and it immediately exploded just like that.
Well, I'll keep that in mind because
it's Pokemon.
One whiz robe so far, and I actually had a harder time with him than I expected.
I hate whiz robes from Breath of the Wild. So I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh god, I like started cursing. I'm like, these things are back. And whoever it was, like I think it was Chris, who was just like, yeah, that one's fire. So hit him with something ice. So I hit him with one of the ice-based chew jelly or something that I had.
Here
Like,
he is
oh,
again.
okay, that made it that hit it. Yep, that hit a lot easier because I remember Breath of the Wild. The fights with the Wizroads were some of the most difficult because they're so hard to hit.
I'm going to assume this is going to fall forward, but who could say?
Try letting go.
Oh.
No.
What were you saying in the chat? All signs point toward 2024 for what?
Oh, so hardware, Nintendo hardware. Vendor reports are looking like I forget which I believe it was Sharp, so it was looking like they might be going back with LCD for the next one, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I did see a little something about that, which that would be surprising, especially like I feel like it would make sense to offer like a light version with LCD later, but like at launch, like at launch is your your enthusiasts, right?
Yeah,
and
don't give us OLED and then take it away. I've been an OLED.
Yeah, your enthusiasts are going to want OLED immediately, so it's
yes. But when has Nintendo ever done what the enthusiasts give a crap about? Unfortunately, it's not. Their MO is to very much not care.
They should know that's the launch market, though. So,
well, Devil's Advocate
says that audience is going to buy the upgrade.
Yep. I want a damn OLED. Is that going to stop me from buying if they give me the new console with an LCD? Am I going to gripe about it and buy it anyway? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then am I probably going to end up upgrading when they release an OLED 3 years later? Probably.
I mean, I was holding out. I was really trying to hold out for, but then like, I feel like Nintendo has not done very well with like system colors and controller colors and designs and stuff like that this generation. And the fact that I really liked how the Tears of the Kingdom special edition looked, I was like, well, okay, I'll do it.
See, I had intended on waiting for some really nice special edition. I wasn't going to buy a plain Switch OLED, but I had a bunch of credit at Dell to use, and Dell had a bundle for a reasonable price one day, and so I got to get an OLED with no cash out of pocket. So like, well, I now have a Switch OLED, and while I would have liked a cooler one than just your basic white unit, white Joy-Con unit. There's a lot to be said about not paying for it.
Yeah.
But if I really cared, I could have used the money I saved and bought a D-brand skin for it.
I do really like the design of the Zelda one. And man, the thing that surprised me, when I was at my parents' house, I was mostly playing on the BenQ projector that I did the review on. But I did play for a while. Earlier this afternoon before I came back here, I was playing for a while just on the screen itself, which was probably the longest like I actually played handheld. And like it doesn't, what shocks me is it doesn't get hot. Like it's barely warm to the touch.
Yeah, because there was a silicon update when they went to the red box switch. They updated the silicon for the
right,
the X1 chip.
Although I kind of wondered too if it's possible the backlight could also possibly be another source of less heat. The OLED not having like a lit backlight, right?
But overall, OLEDs tend to take up more energy than LCDs. So, and obviously, more energy means more heat to be dissipated. So that actually, if they're equal brightness, should possibly create a little more heat than the backlight.
Oh, here we've got one of these. I actually had to give up on the last one of these that I ran into because I could not figure out a good way to make this happen.
Strap a rocket to him and let him fly.
I mean,
apparently, according to some Kotaku article I saw earlier, there's a lot of people posting videos that they've made it their mission to torture Koroks. I saw some. I've seen some interesting and statistic ways. Yeah.
Man, I am loving making these Lizafos explode. But what was I saying before I got distracted by the Korok? I forgot. Oh, I see how this is. So I could possibly recreate this whole bridge. That seems like the way to go, probably. It is a real shame though that, like, I understand why it's this way, but it is a shame that you can't keep these creations in the world.
Yeah. But it would be really difficult on the system to keep up with all of that.
Yes. And not only that, like, why can't I unstick it? There we go. Not only that, like, I mean, in something like Minecraft or, Dragon Quest, builders and stuff like that, like the visuals are so much simpler, and it's all based on, like, a cube based, essentially a 3D grid system, right?
Right.
And here, like, you can just leave things anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
and those games showed, Dragon Quest Builder like absolutely chugged on the Switch from videos I saw.
Right.
Like,
well, my understanding
trying to
is
track all that.
That had more to do with that. I think it had more to do with, like, the user creation. Things.
Yeah, that's what tracking things that. Well, I'm saying, but it would be very quick, and if it's trying to track all of that in Breath of the Wild, it would end up in a similar manner, I would worry.
Yeah, but in Dragon Quest, I think I heard that, like, the main quest was fine.
Yeah, but it's when making your own stuff got to overwhelm the consoles.
The blood moon rises. I've yet to see this actually be an issue.
Well, yeah, it spawns respawns all the enemies. So while we're on that, we have another super chat from Junko988 asking if you've played Metroid Dread on the OLED screen, the OLED Switch screen.
I have not yet. I bet it's awesome.
I've heard. I didn't play myself. Like I said, the time I played through it, I didn't have the OLED yet. I ended up playing on. I emulated it, so I played on 4K and full 4K OLED. But
yeah, same.
The game. I've heard the game is very beautiful
and runs a heck of a lot better. Actually, it's like one of the few games that I know of that, like, has, like, an obvious, like, obvious performance issues on, others on earlier Switches, and doesn't have issues on later Switches.
Yeah. I'm sure the red box and up are fine. It's just those early ones like we have that are old, and like mine's got a slightly swollen battery, and it has since early in its life.
Oh, really?
Not much. You have to really pay attention, look real closely, and know what you're looking at to notice that mine's swollen a bit. But it's been that way since like 2 years old. The Switch just don't cool as well, so it likely leads to problems with keeping up the clock speeds at peak.
Oh, I accidentally got on the Amiibo. I'm like, why are you telling me about Amiibo? You know, I have an idea for how I could have done this better. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, I can't. I can't easily climb this. This isn't going to work super good. Okay,
Oof. The roll. I missed what happens. I'm checking on the replay there. Like watching it roll.
I have a little bit of an idea here, though. Why don't... Why don't I do it more like... I could... Let's see if this'll get me anywhere. Let's straighten out a bit if I go further back.
So you're attached to an existing bridge and trying to get the co-rock up it.
Right, but I'm also thinking like the if I do the pieces long ways, I can also use some of the remaining pieces to kind of get the Korok higher up and then climb and then retrieve them.
Gotcha.
Like I mean, I know I'm doing this in probably a pretty janky way. I feel like my default strategy is becoming make really long stick.
Yeah, that's seeming to be.
What happened? Where am I? Oh, I don't know. The connection. It's stuck, and then it just didn't hold.
Yeah, that's going to be the tale of this game is building long bridges and sticks.
Okay, this is... I wonder if there is actually a way to make that bridge, like, actually be pulled taut like it clearly was before it fell.
Right. Can you see the other side where it used to attach? No, the other side's collapsed, isn't it?
Well, the whole thing collapsed, but like this part up at the top was connected and is actually linked together, like at the parts where you don't see the green. Right?
Mr. Do with the Legend of Zelda, I built this bridge with my tears.
I suppose I could just make a bridge to go up that way. Instead, let's see. Let's see. I could just... No, not there. Often spend so much time doing really dumb things in this game. But I want to do those dumb things. This is getting ridiculous. I think I can do, yeah, I can take one more section. See, all those others are actually attached.
Right, so you can't pull them off. They make you really work for your Korok seeds in this game.
I mean, most of them are the same old tropes. But...
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at this.
Coury's dream hard driving track.
Alright, just stick you there. Oh, jeez. I can't even really rotate this thing. Not right here, anyway.
That is so ridiculously huge.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. I need to get up there. Wow. This game lets you do some pretty dumb stuff.
That's the best part.
Yep.
I've never been much for the like the make your own thing like Minecraft just doesn't make sense to me, but like doing it in here just feels so good.
It's interesting. It actually rotates a lot slower being so large. Oh man, I don't even know what my angle is here anymore.
Your angle
Can I
just
just
hope it
drop
works.
this on those enemies over there?
Probably.
Can I like just swat them from this distance? I might actually try that once I... Whoa.
Well, you almost got it. He hasn't fallen. He's...
As long as...
Oh, good. At least it didn't.
Okay, he's up there at least.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's up there. But if you walk onto that, like you don't have to walk on it. You can always
I'm just
ultra
going...
hand him.
I'm just gonna do this little trick.
You really like your pinecone fires.
Yep. I'm just gonna do a little bit of this action.
Jart or JR saying use Ascend, but I think if you use that, oh, I'm surprised he was able to get that far out. I thought walking on it would tip it.
Would Ascend work on that?
Probably, but I was saying you walked out anyway. I was assuming putting your weight on it would flip it down.
I mean, I guess since it's a mobile manipulatable object. Here, let me try right here. I just,
as long as you're close enough, you should be able to.
Look at that. It didn't. Actually, I wonder if I can get a. Can I get an angle where you can actually see his like underside? See like his legs sticking through?
It didn't seem to want to let you rotate under.
There's got to be a way you can get that view. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, there. Yep. That's not awkward or anything. Now you're thinking with portals.
Yeah, that's the next step. All of this plus portals. Okay, can I just like can I like fly swat these things?
I don't know if you can swat. Like I've tried to unsuccessfully the times I've tried, but maybe. But you can drop it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, just
that's clipping through him.
I've hit enemies. Oh, it did. Okay. I know I've made contact with enemies, but it didn't hurt them. Like
what
I couldn't get enough
if I
force.
tried to set this on fire? Okay, I could not set this on fire.
Need some kind of accelerant.
Well, I trapped him at least. Oh, I really need to pick up some bows. I want your bow. You know, I keep getting hit by enemies, like expecting my attacks to like cause them to stagger more than they actually do.
Yeah, they don't seem to stagger very much a lot of the time.
Yeah, so like I just kind of expect like, oh, I'm just like going, but they still like get their attack in. That's probably. Oh, that guy's stuck. I'm just gonna leave him here. I don't think these guys have like a locked treasure chest. I don't even know if these guys can do that. Like the Bokoblins, like sometimes have a locked treasure chest.
Right. Yeah, I don't. No, I have seen those creatures back on the island, Sky Island, have a lockable chest. The robot creatures, I forget what they're called. The constructs, I think.
Mm. Yeah.
I have seen them on the Sky Islands, at least, have a locked chest.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I almost forgot the whole reason I got so fixated on the Korok and the stupid bridge that I almost forgot the reason I came over here was to do the tower.
Or, as I politely call it, the yeet machine.
Yeah, this is a pretty fun little animation here.
It's so much fun.
I mean, it actually kind of makes you wonder, like maybe this is the solution to not having to use rockets to achieve escape velocity in real life.
We just need giant air-powered slingshots.
Yeah.
Did you notice the things that like hook you up are guardian tentacles?
Yeah. Well, that because in the first version of the cutscene, Link is like,
yeah, he looks terrified, and understandably so, because it looks like some nightmare anime stuff's coming out to do some unspeakable things. And
then on the cutscene versions after that, though, he just keeps a very straight face because he knows what's going to happen. Did they ever actually show the cable disconnecting?
I haven't looked that closely, and I don't think so, though, because my roommate and I talked a lot about the cable, like being, it just fell down there. I didn't see the actual disconnect, but I saw it falling.
Yeah.
Both of us being sysadmin nerds, so we're talking about like what kind of cable and connection is able to handle that, and like there's got to be fiber to be able to run that far, and it's getting that it's transmitting with light. Of course, it's fiber. That's the kind of crap we do.
Oh, we got up in the sky over here. I will say though, I am kind of glad that I never actually like played any of the Breath of the Wild DLC or anything like that, because while there is obviously, I mean, a whole game's worth of added content, and you've got the sky, you've got the underground, you've got all that kind of stuff. Whoa!
What? But okay, that's weird. But you say you did not play the DLC?
I did not.
Wow. Like I understand. Like I messed around with the sword trial, whatever it was called. Never finished it because it is incredibly difficult. But the master mode, or no, not master mode, something else. But then the Champions Ballad DLC was really good. Like I'm surprised you didn't play that. Like
I mean, I very rarely buy DLC anyway.
Same.
Just in
I
general,
almost never do.
And so like, I mean, it takes a lot to draw me to DLC, and I honestly like didn't even really pay that much attention.
Well, yeah, it was the second one was really good. The first one was good just if you want some crazy challenge, which is not really what I want out of it. But the second one, the Champions Ballad, is just excellent gameplay, and then the Master Cycle is just an absolute riot to drive.
Whoa. I like the idea of this thing, but I don't know how to control it. This
So you've got if it was a Segway with a hoverboard kind of going on there?
It actually looks almost exactly like the
oh my god. Oh my god.
I rode for a second. It looks almost exactly like the vehicles that you drive in Dragon Quest X. Oh, whoa, whoa.
Oh my god. How are you supposed to balance on that?
I wonder maybe if you make it more like a plane with like some wings or something. Or I wonder maybe I wonder if I could just, because these floating platforms can just have stuff stuck to them. Like, can I do this?
Do anything.
Oh. Well, I can tilt it, but it doesn't move. So I could definitely move this if it had propulsion. Do you know what this is? I wonder if this is like extra like battery or something.
I don't recognize that, no.
Like maybe it
I wonder.
Like it's just this glowing thing. Like what does it do?
If hitting it doesn't seem to do anything. I know after I defeated something earlier. Oh, it was an optional boss I defeated. It dropped this thing, not exactly like that, but it had the same glow to it, like the Zononite stuff does. And there was nothing I could do with it. It was just a piece. I could pick it up and manipulate it, but I couldn't do anything with it.
I mean, maybe it's just like a bridge piece, like if you wanted to like extend something out or something.
Yeah, like
but normally you do that with more like natural materials like wood or something like that.
Well, I'm just curious. The thing I'm talking about, I fought. Did you fight on the way to that the temple you did you find a monster that looked like it was built in Minecraft?
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of thought it looked more like the first boss in Gunstar Heroes, but yes, I did.
Oh, you're right. It does. Yes, I didn't catch that. My first thought it was Minecraft. Holy crap! You're flying a.
Oh no! I'm
All
being
right.
fired at.
Yeah, see that? Oh god, this game just like I would have never thought to do that. That's so awesome. This game is so sweet. You're flying a chunk of land.
Oh, there's a rocket. There's rockets over here.
Oh, and now attach a rocket to it and see what kind of crazy crap you can get into.
Okay, where is this guy firing at me?
Nice shot.
Power of the gyro.
Oh, so Urameshi said that those green containers are auxiliary batteries. It uses its power before your portable battery pack.
Oh. Oh, there's the see. It's very faint, but see that ominous sphere I was talking about? Like I don't know, just something about the idea of a dark,
like above Link's head,
a dark sphere in the sky. Something about that just feels especially creepy to me.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's really far away, so I don't know.
All right, let's see what we can do here. Oops. I mean, you could, in theory, make like more of like a sky bus, if you like.
Chained a bunch of them together.
Yeah. Let's see here.
All aboard the party bus in the sky.
Yep.
The magic sky bus. Where's Miss Frizzle? Mr. Dew says you are Miss Frizzle now.
Good enough. All right. See what happens.
That's so ridiculous. I love it.
Oh no, my rockets I think are shot though.
Yeah.
So I've only got the fan now.
Oh my! Well, if this platform, that platform is about to drop you.
Wait. Oh.
Yep.
Oh. It broke.
Yep.
Why did it break?
They have limited time spans.
Just
when
like
you attach
anything else, I guess.
Yeah. So if because this your platform flying wasn't ridiculous enough, we can get more ridiculous with Mr. Ben Brody here with his $5 donation. $100 million. But anytime somebody beats Link to the Past, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you poop your pants. Are you taking the money?
I feel like that's probably something that just is like happening constantly in the world.
I can't imagine it is a decently older game. Although when ADGQ happens every year, people are practicing for it. You're gonna need a lot of depends, sir.
There's another crop circle pattern that I'll save for later. Let's see, where am I? Where am I relative to the tower that I just did? Was it that? It must have been that. I've gotten pretty far away from it. I crossed this entire valley here.
Well, rockets will do that.
Yep, I suppose so.
What's going on in that thing you just highlighted? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that existed in the first game because I remember seeing strange shapes like that. And interestingly enough, there's a cube-shaped thing above it.
Yeah.
So I guess we're not likely to get too much further. Oh, this is about to break too.
Oh, yep.
Well, here we go.
Landing on a shrine. It's a good place to land.
Oh, it's all frozen up.
Can't just enter that one, I guess. Gotta figure out how to thaw it out first.
Wow, yeah, this is a lot. Wait, is this, or is the shrine above it?
On top of it.
Oh, I just
maybe.
missed it, I guess.
And you can't climb that. He bends back another $5. Okay, fine. 20 million. But anytime somebody beats one of the Zelda CDI games, you pee your pants and have to tell everybody around you what happened. I mean, how many people per year actually even load up one of those games, much less complete it?
I mean, that might be acceptable. I would say the benefits far outweigh the downsides.
Oh yeah, because who actually finishes that? And but 20 million. Who gives a crap?
Yeah, I mean it's not 100 million, but
you still wipe your tears with $100 bills at the end of the day.
Yes.
So
that is much more palatable than the previous scenario.
Than one of the most popular games of all time.
Yes. You know what I should have done? I should have, because I do have. Actually, hold on a second.
Here's an interesting piece of information. Video Game Obsession just posted. He's beaten it several times, as well as Faces of Evil and Zelda Wand of Gamelon as well. He worked at Philips as a beta tester and reviewer for their magazine in 1993.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's awesome.
Oh.
I've never had anything cool or interesting like that.
He's not quite gonna make it. Unless, can I...
You can keep rewind further.
No, that's the furthest point he can go back to. Because I was going to say I should have used one of my glider capsules.
Yeah.
From up there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it's like after 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah, it's 11:30. It was hard to review a game that I knew wasn't great for their in-house magazine, CDI World. I wish I worked at a better company. So were you? Were you kind of expected to give good reviews?
That definitely makes for a good story, though. I mean, that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah.
I have very much lost track of where the smoke signal was.
No idea at this point.
It was somewhere off this way. Maybe if I talk to him again, maybe he'll tell me where it was again. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, he was expected to focus on the good aspects of even bad games, which it's a Philips CDI, so I'm assuming that was every game.
I mean, I try to focus on the good aspects of games too, you know, but
Right.
that I mean, that platform came with special challenges.
What about I'll give you a challenge here, though I can't hire you to do it like he was hired to. Point out only the positive aspects of a tropical freeze.
Oh.
I knew I had to hit the sore spot on that one.
You know, it's got an unbelievably good soundtrack. And it is absolutely a beautiful game. I mean, it's just aesthetically perfect. Mechanically, I can't stand it. You know, I have never run into one of these Koroks, having found the destination Korok first. Like, I feel like that would have happened at some point, but it's never happened.
I've had I gotta find more Koroks. I haven't run into enough of them. I've only had a very few.
Have you run to Hestu?
Yes, I ran into him, and I've given him the few that I found, the few seeds.
Well, he only accepted 2 rounds of it in my location. Then he's like, "Well, gotta
and then he
move on."
vanished, and that's what he did to me too. And that's exactly what I had. So, because I had 3 seeds, so I upgraded my weapons twice. He Video Game Session posted a link to his review of Faces of Evil.
Oh,
I guess he scanned it in. Said, having been a fan of the Legend of Zelda series since its debut on the 8-bit Nintendo system some years ago, I was eager to try this new CDI version. The amazing graphics are easily the best looking on CDI to date.
I mean,
you interact with,
might not be wrong, actually.
Yeah. You interact with friend and foe who speak to you via full motion animation and CD quality audio, which isn't possible on the current cartridge-based system.
Impossible.
Exactly. As Link, you must travel across the once peaceful land of Koridai and slay Ganon to save Princess Zelda. But first, you must conquer the hideous faces of evil to restore the peace and liberate the citizens of on the troubled island. You'll encounter moblins, rock-spitting Octoroks, and giant crabs. You hit the giant crabs in their weak spot for maximum damage. Link is probably better suited for use with a joystick controller, but will work with any of the existing input devices. Personally, I think this game is a nice addition. If you do happen to finish Link, there's always Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon. Tip number 1, use your bombs to defeat the crab. It takes only one as opposed to several thrusts of the sword. To get the much needed magic sword, walk all the way to the left and talk to the old man.
I should probably very much not be here. Have you run to Wall Masters yet? I assume that's what they are.
Yes, I've run into those, but they're not Wall Masters.
Are they Floor Masters?
No, they do not do what Wall Masters do.
They are the one thing that I have attempted to fight and just could not beat.
Yeah, they are. I did read up because I wanted to know what to do. You have to hit them with heavy stuff like bomb arrows, and you have to kill them all quickly, or they respawn if you don't get them all in enough time. If you kill one, it'll end up respawning. No, they are not Wall Masters. They do other things, but they don't. Sorry, I had to sneeze there. But they're not. They don't relocate you like a Wall Master would. But they do some damage. Ben's back with another 5 and wants to know what fictional food dish would you want to eat from any video game? I would choose the fried frontier skewer from Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh, man, you know, there's some. I mean, speaking of Final Fantasy, there's particularly in Endwalker, I think there's some really nice looking food in Final Fantasy 14. Like, there's really good looking pizza and hamburgers. Look pretty good. Those would be up on my list. There's also the gigantic hamburgers. Woo!
Nice. Holy crap.
Power drains, arrows.
Power drain. Holy crap. That's awesome.
Does it even use arrows? Let's see.
Yes, I assume so, because it's got the count on your screen. Oh, yep.
Okay, that's that is intriguing. Now let's hope that I can get back out of here or onto the ceiling alive. I got lucky finding that that ceiling when I ran across what I will call wall masters.
Yeah, I forgot what they were called. Just refer to them as gloom hands because they're coming out of the gloom and they're hands.
It's interesting that they've actually got the pine cones and flint and fires or in partial or complete combinations just set up in here, because I guess that's kind of your intended method. How? What?
Oof.
Oh, there we go. I don't know what happened there. Oh, there's a
chest there, it looks like.
little hole. Whoa. Oh, there's a shrine in the middle. I guess.
Mr. Do wants to eat the classic Castlevania wall meat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't? But Disaster Day of Crisis, that's what I was thinking of, has really nice, juicy, gigantic burgers as well. I'm pretty sure this place was, or something like it was in, I remember some very geometric shaped ruins in Breath of the Wild. But I'm sure it was different to some extent. Oh, that's good too.
Not a bad bow, and you could get in some nice bows. Earlier, you saying you needed some more bows, and now you found two
I was running low on
ones.
bows, and now I'm pretty set. Well, we can pretty much wrap this up anytime you want. I don't. I didn't mean to keep you so late. I don't know when you normally head to bed, but.
Usually around midnight, usually on Sunday nights.
Yeah, I did not. I mean, the time just passed before I knew it. That's what happens when you're
right. That's game's been doing that to me for days now.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours blink. Every time I blink, it's 2 hours gone.
Yep.
And I need to I feel like I need to take a week off work just to play this.
Pretty much. What's going on here? That looks quite ominous down there.
Yeah, that looks like the gloom hands down there, isn't it? Or is that a hole?
Yeah,
that's a hole down into the.
Or possibly some larger creature could spawn out of it.
It looked multi-leveled actually when you're moving, so I think it is a hole down into the underworld. What, I don't know what to call it.
The depths, I think.
Uh,
I feel I should probably explore this area more more later. This, considering they're giving me such good weapons here, I feel like this is
leading to something big.
yeah. These are things that I could not survive probably with 7 hearts. So maybe we should wrap it up here. What do you think?
All right. Yep. Sounds like a good place.
Yeah. It's been fun. Went by fast. I hope people didn't mind too badly playing a game that came out 2 days ago on stream. Not something that we'll make a habit of, I'm sure. But fun to do something a little out of our wheelhouse every now and then.
Yep, I had a great time. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Anytime.
Any other time, let me know.
Thanks for filling in.
Yep. Anytime.
And we will see y'all next Sunday.